Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Another Tuesday night. Welcome to it. It's Studio C. It's the show. Hi, Clayton McGee here.
An election night.
Oh my gosh, it is. In fact, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
And
I
you
got
just
actually
can't
hang on.
hide
I
it?
can do. I'm at the point. I'm not there yet.
We should
But,
always do.
but I mean, I'm excited from the standpoint. I have this queued up and ready to go.
Oh, we got for breaking news?
No, it's just the election stinger.
And 1 year later, good news instead of
Yeah,
worst news ever.
The show that shall not be named.
Yeah.
that was aired briefly. Then it was good.
Thank goodness, because nobody looked it up.
Official records. Anyway, yeah, for those of you not American, you may not really care as much, or you might, because you realize what we've been going through. It is a celebration for tonight. A lot of areas already turning blue, so that's a plus for many, many people. Especially us. Unfortunately, it's not in this state at this point, but we only had like bond things. The only thing that I know of that I had was like some school bond couple things.
Yeah, we didn't really have any offices up. It was just bond overrides to keep funding our schools that nobody else wants to fund.
Right. So anywho, we'll I'm sure have
Yeah,
more
now,
election
well,
things.
That could be the dick that votes in a school and doesn't vote
Right.
to give them more money.
And we don't even have kids in the school, and I still vote for you and I because we live in the same school district. Anyway, hi everybody, welcome to it. Joe D is in the old chat room. The only other person besides Al and myself. By the way, Marnie Ryer is on her way. She'll be here. She said she was actually going to be late this evening, so about 7:30. So about 15 minutes post her normal time. But anywho, it's all good. She's here. Show 323 for us. It's the 7th of November, 2017. It may be the 18th if you're listening live, or any other day. Post now if
Yeah.
you're listening on repeats.
Oh,
But
that'd be
someday-
weird if people could like listen from the past.
Yes, because then I would like to copyright that, and then I would
How
be
do we do
wealthy.
that?
Well, we have to have a DeLorean and a flux capacitor.
You can buy those. Yeah.
I don't know if the flux capacitor is still available. I'm not sure. Oh, there's Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hello.
Got a text from my mom. She's doing well. She's looking through watching TV with the good eye, I'm guessing. Don't know. But it's all good. Last time I tuned in, November 7th and 8th, election night with y'all. Turd face McShittyworth.
Yeah.
Oh, McShitworthy. My
Sure,
bad.
sure.
Two different people.
Oh, yeah. Commonly mistaken for each other.
Very mistaken for
Yeah.
two
You know, they
different-
look a lot alike too. It's really unfair.
Very much so, yes, absolutely. Oh, hell and damnation. Well, here we are, kids. What now? Did you have
It's happening, yeah.
Did you have a pre-show a production meeting?
We
Or
did
no?
not.
We did
no.
not.
Yeah, okay. Well,
we just
well,
arrived together.
You were making comments about how you didn't think you were allowed any more coffee, and I wasn't sure what that meant.
Oh, no, I'm out of my little cups.
Verissimos.
My Verissimo, so when I brew the jet fuel,
Oh, I see what you've done.
yeah, we
I
get
see.
the heartbeat of a
The
hummingbird.
cups keep you restricted into a good, nice rhythm, and otherwise you're just, oh my God.
Well, I'm so used to between the Keurig cups at work and the Verissimo at home. Horrible for the environment. I really have to break this habit. But you're
But
used
great
to that
for a
one
consistent cup of coffee,
You're
yeah.
used to that one consistent
Oh, okay.
strength. There's no There ain't no margin of error there.
Well, when Michael lived here and he had the Keurig, I didn't like buying all those little things, but we had the one that you put your own grounds in all the
Yeah.
time, and I love that.
And Verissimo just doesn't have that. We have that at work too.
They'll have to find that.
Yeah.
Bastards. Someday.
Someday, my prince will come.
So, oh, you never know. We're all hope your prince. Right? Okay.
I know, and I wish I'm following the Saudi Arabia story. Amina brings up the Saudi Arabia.
Oh, it was
Jesus
big.
Christ, Saudi Arabia story, and I haven't landed on that
Apparently,
one
somebody came into power and started just arresting all kinds of fuckers.
Right. Anybody I think that was going to threaten power to them, I think is part
Yeah.
of how that worked out. But,
Also known as the United States in 2019.
Mr. Maddow was all over that shit last night. They're like going, woo, whoop, what the hell was all this? Because they're just, again, arresting everybody. And coincidentally, one of the princes that wasn't in the Four Seasons hotel at the time, mysteriously, helicopter crash. So we're like, did they just pay the pilot to take him down? Like, I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, the only one they could not physically lay hands on and arrest, helicopter crash in the middle of the desert.
Wow, that's
It
suspicious.
is some House of Cards shit.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Well, it's House of Cards stuff, but nobody got touched inappropriately.
That we know of.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
That we know of.
Many years later.
Look back in your comedy shows and see if anybody's been making jokes about it.
Right.
Then-
Oh, that's a valid point. If Seth MacFarlane's been making jokes in Family Guy for 10 years about it, chances are it's
Probably
accurate.
true, yeah.
And
Who knew Seth had finger on the pulse? Did you see the article about difficult people? You were calling it, but I read a whole thing about how difficult people's been calling the Kevin Spacey.
oh yeah,
For
since
years,
the
yeah.
very beginning. Remember I talked about that, but I was really unclear as to like what the Kevin Spacey bashing was about on that show.
Yeah.
And but it was about him being in the closet, not about
Oh,
Potato.
Not about him being in your
indiscretions,
closet.
Yeah, right.
which I still think that's a way over big reaction for what's going on with him. To my knowledge, I haven't really followed it. However, the Weinstein thing seems to be spinning up marvelously. With New York PD are like on it.
Yeah, but they've dropped the ball once, so now they've got egg on their face.
Oh, did not know.
Because they had the one woman that agreed to wear a wire,
Right.
and they dropped the charges on that one.
Right,
So
but
the
I'm talking
prosecutor in New York now he's got a
mountain to
he's
climb.
on the scent. Like he's on the scent now because he was going down as like an apologist for
Oh, I see.
Weinstein for like you have him on tape.
Yeah, literally.
Like you and you
But
had
they're-
the accuser and both got away. And I can't remember that prosecutor's name in New York, but really got shit shined last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been
And-
turd-faced McShitworthy.
Yeah. So now they're leaking it like
Guy
a week
gets
in
around.
advance that there's
Yes.
they're leaking it in advance that there's probably indictments are coming down next week.
There's been a lot of indictments and a lot of legalese thrown around this week with a lot of different things, and it's been enjoyable.
I feel
Yeah.
like we learn a lot of new words.
Yeah, words that
Like
you
the
don't use
world
very
is going
often.
to shit, but we learn words like collusion and indictment
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
all
they're
kinds
throwing
of
around a lot of
things.
$50 words on MSNBC between all those fucking people talking about all this stuff. There's a lot of it. And right now I'm kind of I don't know where to be right now with Miss Donna Brazile. I love Donna Brazile. I like to listen to her. I think she's a great speaker. She's just a classy woman. I like how she's always represented herself. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like,
She's got a book to sell.
yeah, I know she does, but I'm like, where are we with this? And why write this? And why did you right before the election? Like again, right before this. Like if she'd done it a week later, I wouldn't. But it looked kind of odd right before the November
Well, that
election.
is odd. I hadn't thought about that. You know, I was
Well,
just
because you want you want people that are watching the news for elections to see that you're selling a book.
oh sure, because everybody's going to tune out
next week you're going to tune
Why
out.
do you have all the answers, Mr. Perkins?
Huh?
Why is that? Why do you have all the answers?
Well, because
Is there a cue card?
I pay attention to when it's
Sure.
time to sell something or when
I don't think about that, but I understand what you're saying.
like in the next year, watch for which Democrats put out books about their life story. Because you know what that is? That's step one of running for president in
Right.
2020.
you got to write
You got to write your memoir.
the
Get
audacity of
yourself known.
hope and
That,
right.
Right.
Get yourself on somebody's couch.
Hang on, I got to
Oh.
go to my notes.
Jimmy Fallon or someone.
Why are you gonna write a book?
Write
too?
Gotta write a
memoir. Yeah.
Right.
Do mine inspectors usually put out some sort of an autobiography? My life.
I don't know. Al Perkins do mine
It's a good
inspectors
start.
typically put
If
up
you
the
want to
memoir?
win the election by a landslide,
Now, do you think
waste
that it
the
is-
memoir on Wine Inspector.
Mine.
Mine.
Yeah, you said wine. Or that.
It was the corn nut.
Do you think I have enough time to put out a book and still win Mine Inspector in 2018, though?
The lucky thing is none of these motherfuckers write their own books.
Oh,
They're
that's
all
true. So I just
ghostwritten
got to
by
get
someone.
some. Hey, Amina, you want to write a book?
Maybe get Brock to write it. I was waiting for that reaction.
Okay.
I was wanting to see how far that would go.
That sounds like a great idea.
I think it's a great project to throw
Sure.
at him.
Yeah, that's gonna be lovely.
I don't know what story he's going to tell, but we'll see. I'd love to read that book. That'd be great. Be a lot
I'm gonna
of-
get him started this weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna tell him.
Oh my god.
I'll see him tomorrow. We have a staff meeting tomorrow. I'll tell him tomorrow.
Joy.
Brock, I need you to write my biography ASAP.
Right.
And then I'm going to have to tell him what ASAP means.
Yeah. And
Oh.
then, depending on what level of office you want to run for it, you have to show up at a county fair somewhere,
Sure.
make an appearance, shake hands with people, make sure you're photographed by corn or hay,
It would be
I know what both of those things look like.
a fried someone or other, you know what I mean?
it'd be ideal to have the fair be in a county that you're running in.
but not
Is that necessary?
necessarily, yeah.
Is that necessary?
Like if Flagstaff has a fair and you're running for something in Tucson, I don't think it's
No,
really
because
going
it's a photo op. You can pretend it was anywhere.
That feels good to me. No,
Yeah,
I
that pine tree in the back, he was right here in Tucson. You'll be fine.
We don't know.
keep talking, mister. You're going to get yourself a campaign manager job right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
because it's about to happen. We're into the season of the book, the unexplained trip to Iowa,
Yeah.
and then there'll be an Iowa State Fair next summer that no one can figure out what this person's doing there. Although it started to make a little bit more sense when Barack started winning Iowa.
Why are we missing his name now?
Oh,
Because that's
of
what
Frau
Merkel on SNL does.
Oh, okay.
A little Barack.
Do you hear me, Brosh? Do you hear me? Oh, by the way, that fucking state fair, Joe. Yes, I am proud that I missed that state fair
Oh.
again this year.
Let me tell you something about
I didn't
the
want
state
to.
fair.
I didn't want to announce that I had missed it until I knew that it was over, because then I thought I'll be abducted and forced to go to the goddamn thing. I despise it. I just despise all of it.
Here's what happened to me the last time I went to the state fair.
Was that this week?
No,
This past week?
no, I haven't been in years.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Okay.
Molly
Good.
and I went together the last time I went to the fair, I think.
Oh,
So it's
I'm
been a
sure
minute.
that
Yeah.
sure that went
It
well.
was just yesterday. No, you know what? She enjoys a thrill ride. She enjoys a tilt-a-whirl.
But she won't fly.
I don't listen.
The woman won't fly, and she has nervous issues with driving, and she'll go to a fair.
But she'll go right on the death traps. I know.
Exactly.
I know.
Something that's been moved around all over the country. 100
Listen.
And held together by
I know.
a piece of string.
In
Yeah.
any event, there we are, in line on the tilt-a-whirl.
Picture it. Tilt-a-whirl.
Picture it. Tilt-a-whirl.
1994.
There we are in line, me regretting my life decisions because I get nauseous on those rides and makes me want to throw up. So that was going to be a good time for me all night.
Oh,
I know.
sure.
I know. So there we are, just waiting patiently in line for the carny to tell us it was our turn to board. And all of a sudden, about
Just
seven
a lady in a tube top.
about 700 state troopers and mace come and disperse an entire crowd because I don't even know what happened, but all of a sudden, like, everybody's on the ground and people are running and screaming and there's like pepper spray in people's eyes. I don't even know what happened. And I looked at Molly and I said, Molly,
Oops, sorry.
we're too white to be here. We got to go. We got to go now. That's right. That happened.
In a point counterpoint section of
The
the show.
last time I was at the fair. Go ahead.
I had a
counterpoint.
great. The 2 times I've been there, I had a great time.
Did you?
Yeah, it's fun.
The 2 times you've been there and you've lived here 30 years. I think that's enough. That's a good
That feels like a good ratio.
I think
yeah,
it is.
feels
Yeah.
really good.
Because I think that's about what I've been, how many times I've been, and I've been here 25. So
But it turns out I make fun of it, but I like that shit. Plus, I like poorly constructed rides of a dubious nature.
I do
called the
enjoy.
pepper or whatever the hell it is.
I
salt
do
and
enjoy the
pepper.
various deep fried foods that are all like dipped and fried in the same batter and oil.
And they all taste
so
the
they
same.
all taste exactly the same.
Yeah, and I
right?
pick the one that I'm the most curious about. I eat it. I regret it for a really long time, and then I find out that I don't throw up at the end of the rides, and I'm like, this would have been a good time to do it.
Oh, that would have been a good time to
Pass
throw up.
all the way through me
Right.
yeah.
with the hopes that will be ejected, but no.
But it turns out the moon pie tastes just like the Twinkie, tastes just like the
The
funnel
pickle.
cake.
Yeah.
See, the
Same,
problem
same,
is
same.
I don't like the thing that's inside there. Like I would never eat a pickle, so I'm not gonna eat a fried pickle. I'm not
that's fair.
100% sure what a moon pie is, but I probably wouldn't eat it.
It is not
that's
part of
the
the moon,
marshmallow
by the way.
chocolate, like graham crust thing.
Yeah, I'm out
Those
at
are
marshmallow.
lovely.
Although I experienced a marshmallow recently that did not bother me.
Is there a story?
Interesting.
Of,
Did I tell you about the
Was it moon
the
shaped? Was
indoor
it in Lucky
s'mores?
Charms?
No, the indoor s'mores at my friend's parents' house.
No, but
where we
that's
had
always a
s'mores, but
good
it was
idea.
too cold to go outside and like build a fire, and
I
we were all
think-
drunk.
after when
So
you
Oh,
went on
and
your
so you
trip.
made them in the oven.
We
Yeah.
watched a YouTube
Right.
video and made these. The presentation was just remarkable, and they were delicious. But a warm Hershey's bar after about a gallon of wine is pretty good.
I could see that. It's good.
I guess they are.
Sure.
I'm rounding down because I think it was more like 5 gallons of wine.
Is it a box?
I think it was most
The
of the
big-
wine.
Most of the wine.
See, I don't understand the deep fried coffee. What is it? A bean?
Deep
What
fried
am I-
coffee.
Deep fried coffee. I don't understand
Have
that.
they somehow frozen the coffee and then deep
Oh,
fried
like
it?
yeah, maybe a sickle.
A coffee sickle?
Yeah, that's
I don't
Turns out it was
understand.
just coffee soaked
I
pound
don't. I don't get how they put liquids on a
Oh.
stick.
coffee soaked pound
What
cake that
is
was
this?
deep fried.
Liquids
now
on a stick. I don't understand what that was. Liquids on a stick.
I was I was trying not to hit the mic. I was trying to gesture to
I,
the.
many
I
things.
would like to circle back to this because
Okay, that's
coffee
fine.
soaked pound cake sounds delicious, and the frying thing does help some things. So that I think
All right.
maybe now I'm just gonna throw this out there, just as a crazy last step. Maybe dipping in some chocolate.
Oh.
Oh, like a coffee pound
Like
cake
a little-
fondue.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
I just saw a whole thing on Facebook about how you can put the chocolate in a jar in a slow cooker and have fondue all day long. I'll bring the crock pot.
maybe we got a fondue fountain right here in the center of our table. Our table. Our beautiful
Sur la
table.
table.
Our table. Be
That
lovely.
would be lovely.
Yeah,
And the fact that you two can reach it the easiest to be back, because I can't reach that far
Oh,
to the fountain.
Well, we'll get you a stick
No. Oh, yeah, because I want to drip all that shit across to
Yeah.
it. No.
and a tarp.
yeah. Or when we did the water parties.
I'm a problem solver, Clayton.
You are.
At BS West, when we did the water parties,
Yeah.
we had to cover the first year. It was controlled chaos,
Sure.
and I was not there. And it turns out that I'm kind of an escalator of problems.
What?
So the next year when we did the water party, like everyone thought it was so fun to have like little squirt guns and squirt each other, and the fact that we like hosed down inside the bar. Well, it got replaced the next year with super soakers and a hurricane fan
Right.
with a hose pointed right at it. So we had to cover everything in plastic, like the TVs, the plugs. That thing was like Tupperware down, and we didn't lose one appliance.
Hey, good for you.
But when they took the big
Customers, we don't know. We lost several of those. But
Oh yeah, there were drownings. Took a
there
fire
were
hose.
drownings.
Mike sat on a lifeguard chair next to a hurricane fan, and they just he blew a whistle, and while people were like dancing and drinking,
Right.
they just took a fire hose and opened it up on the hurricane fan,
Oh, that's amazing.
and it was like an assault. Like there was nothing fun about it. Your drink was instantly watered down. You were getting hit with like what felt like hail mixed with hell.
You know, I bet there's an entire generation of people from the South who could tell you that getting hit with a fire hose is not fun. Who thought this
But we
up?
didn't get hit by it. We added a hurricane strength fan to blow it back at you. It was fucked up. But one of the best.
It sounds like a
parties-
fun
oh
party,
my God,
though.
It was hysterical. People were slipping and sliding, and people would just stand there and talk to you with a super soaker
Yeah.
Right.
gun and just empty it on
Yeah.
you.
I just made
And
a,
I'm like, it's wrong, but I'm amused.
I just made a note to reach out to Fernelli to remind him to buy a new hurricane fan, because I think it should be. We should start it again.
I honestly don't
That's
know.
a lovely summer tradition.
Is because the technology was so low key. It was just the little old TVs that we were covering up.
Right.
Because we didn't have like a credit card machine even back then. Like it was just all cash.
Right.
The ATM, I think they moved it outside or just shut it down for the night.
Sure.
Turned it into R2D2.
Now the whole
Right.
bar is electronic,
Oh.
and everybody holds it
Yeah.
in their hands. So
Oh,
a
yeah,
water
people
party
would
might
lose
not
their
be as
mind.
fun. Right.
Like phones, no one cared about their phone. You took
Right.
a phone call, you didn't take a phone call. It wasn't attached to you.
Well, and flip phones weren't as susceptible in your pocket as a $9,000
right.
iPhone.
Until
that-
the asshole with the super soaker just
Right.
loaded on you.
The little
the gun.
squirt guns are no big deal.
Right. But some of those things got aggressive, and then we had to have like an assault weapon ban for year 3 because we were like, okay, here's the maximum weaponry you can bring into this motherfucker.
How many gallons per minute does that shoot?
Now, let me ask you, your assault weapon ban, did that help reduce
Yes.
casualties?
Yeah.
Oh,
It did.
see how you brought that through? That's good.
It really did.
I'm gonna be a great mine inspector.
But I
as long
have
as there's
because
super soakers involved.
when people were coming in and showing us what they bought for the party, we're like, no,
That can't
Take it
happen,
back.
right?
like this
Oh,
bar
because
is.
some of them like hook up to backpacks
Yeah.
and
Oh.
And so it
or
was
like
more than what
battery
you
power
could carry.
for
Like
extra.
it was
yeah.
like you were a fucking camel. Oh my god, it was hysterical because the first time someone brought it in and showed us, we're like, well, what will that do? And they like unloaded on like just unleashed it on like one of the windows on the side there that then became doors. Not because of that, but
Right.
2 unrelated incidents. We're like, oh no, you can't point that at someone. Then it will be like fire hoses in the 60s.
I would have been the guy that brought in
Somebody
the,
will lose an
that's,
eye.
That's something that should come with an attack dog.
I had brought the 3-gallon backpack thing with a pumper, just walking around shooting people. That's what I'd have had. But it's funny that I don't know where I was, but I never heard of any of these parties.
Oh my god, they were so
I don't
much
know why I missed them. I guess I was so enthralled in whatever the fuck I was doing. I just
You were
never
busy organizing the chili cook-off at Wings.
guess so.
Yep.
Trying to
Two different worlds.
trying to make my mark on the 7th Street
Yeah,
here in
the-
Phoenix.
You know, that's a funny bar over there because it's so far and away from a lot of the rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it has its own
own little
clientele.
world and its own little.
That
Yeah.
everybody thinks is so like they're so stuck up, and it's like it was always the nicest people.
Sure.
And then the parties were just insanity of like. The Studio 54 party was the first one was the absolute best. That was the costumes, the way they did the light show, the people dancing across the beam, the only vinyl could be spun.
Yeah.
And spun with 2 turntables and the whole thing, and it was so
and that
much
was all
fun.
Bella's vinyl,
It
right?
was fun.
It was mine, Bella's, Eddie, so it was
Oh.
everybody brought in their vinyl. No
That's cool.
no water pistols that one, but oh my god. Very funny. Very, very fun. And just to stop and dance and be like, there's Eddie and I supposed to be making people's drinks because I was
no.
the waitress and he was the bartender. And now Heaven Must Ascend she came on and I got to dance.
Stand by.
Sorry, I got something to say.
First of all, we have no blender. Number 2, I got to dance to this song.
Oh. Okay. Anyways, before we get
It
lost on
happens.
that story,
Oh, there's so many
we don't have a
stories.
blender, but the blender's right there. It's broken. Are you sure? Yes.
Oh.
Why is it broken? Because I'm about to break it if you ask me any more questions.
I'm making a fucking thing in it.
My very first day as a bartender. This is where this is. This is where that is. This is the blender. It's broken.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Oh,
No, we just
should
got
we
it.
should fix it.
No, we should
Nope.
not.
Broken.
I'm even surprised at the bar. Well, like bar 1 that has the Bellini machine in there. I'm like, you have to go through all that bullshit. They pour the stuff in, they pour this in. Yes, it freezes it, and it's like
Yeah,
a snow cone.
slushies it out.
Right, but still, like you go through all that every day. And Charlie's has got like 4 of those fucking things because it's different flavored.
No wonder
smoothie
motherfuckers
bullshit.
are asking me for frozen shit.
God! Oh yeah, because they have it. 2
Settle
places.
the fuck down.
Yeah, exactly.
I always tell
Bro.
people this ain't Applebee's.
Yeah, you ain't get no brandy
I did not.
up in mine.
I had those are some good. I haven't had those in a long time. I don't need one, but they were good back in the day.
It's just ice cream and liquor. How you gonna go wrong?
You can't. And
No.
a beautiful hurricane or not whatever that
Put it
glass
on
is.
pound cake, deep fry it, dip it in chocolate. You got yourself a party.
Rub it down. Woo!
I don't want to tell you how to state fair your life, but
That'll get you there. Oh, and I'm glad I didn't see it this year. They must have ditched the cotton candy pink bullshit promotion. Remember the lady, the Arizona State Fair lady that always had the pink hair, the commercials that they always ran that her hair was cotton candy and she'd eat the cotton candy sitting at her desk waiting for the fair to open.
I don't watch
Oh
commercials.
God, I'm glad they quit it because I couldn't stand that.
Oh, I've
campaign.
never seen that one.
I'll have to dig it up for you. Anyway, what you been doing this week, my dear?
Well, not a bunch. I did get to on Sunday was our turn to go see the musical Something Rotten at the Gamage as part of our season ticket package.
Parking included.
Delightful. Just this year.
No,
I just
understand.
answered a whole survey about my parking preferences and expressed my disdain for paying
Right.
for parking on a Sunday afternoon because it's dumb.
Okay.
But anyway, the show is so much fun. I honestly was real close to dropping Sharon off at home and going back for the 6:30 show.
Oh.
Yeah,
Fun.
Where I was.
right where you were.
Oh, that's true. I did see a chick in there.
We saw a show together 6 hours apart.
6 hours apart. And it
So
was.
first of all, I have to
start
see that omelet
finish.
number again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have got to see that again somehow.
It's been a while since I've seen a touring show just have a straight up showstopper.
Yeah.
And that had two. The first act musical just
was
stopped
oh my
it
god,
cold.
so good. And
And even the people on stage started to get uncomfortable because I mean the applause
did not stop.
Did not stop.
Would not stop. Even the Sunday matinee, you know, the old folks show that I go to, stopped the show.
Yeah. And then the omelet did too. The omelet was just silly, fun.
And I love the guess the references game. You know what I mean? And I want to just sit there with a video of that and play that as a quiz game and just at parties and stuff. I mean, they're going to be pretty lame parties. It is pretty much just going to be you and me.
Yeah.
But
And I felt like I was hitting on all cylinders getting the references. There was one or two that I'm like, oh wait, I think they just made a joke about something that I didn't quite catch. So I bought this the original cast recording will be coming in the mail tomorrow.
Oh, good.
I needed that. I needed that omelet number.
that needs to happen again
In my
and
life.
again and again. And even the musical number, like I knew it was coming, and I've seen it 100 times because that's the one that they did on the Tonys a couple of years ago, and I was like a tear in my eye blown away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when it's so entertaining and so fun, and that those applause last just long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like it always like tears my eye just a little bit, and I was like, oh. And I was sitting in the cheap seats in the balcony. So good.
Yeah, it sold to everyone around me was having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Book of Mormon. You never got really lower than a giggle.
Right.
Like even just sitting there watching them do their scenes, you were kind of just giggling at the absurdity of it, and it's the guy that directed and choreographed Book of Mormon.
Okay.
And from Thoroughly Modern Millie, so a clear tap background, and he uses tap for comedic effect
So good.
perfectly. And in this one, just had it down. Like the way that they could just all break into tap dancing. It's like I'm just glad to see tap dancing on the rebound.
You can't go wrong with tap dancing.
But in it was most of the last cast on Broadway. So
Yes.
it was another one of those great shows like Hair when they came through. The show closed. They just went on tour.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in LA next week or in 3 weeks, the end of November into December. And I was trying my damnedest to see if I could get out there and see it because I got coupons because I've seen a couple shows the Amazon this
Right on.
season.
Just not happening.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
could not do it. Even they were offering $49 orchestra seats.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh, that
And I'm
is
like,
cheap.
Jesus, I want to go. But so much fun. A delight.
Agreed.
And so the other week, when we were talking about that it didn't win Best Musical, I'm like, how can this not win Best Musical? Maybe because they were making fun of every other show. They had like musical references to like I could see like
yeah,
Book a real solid winner, but you could
Sure.
see where maybe because they played snippets from every show that's ever been on Broadway, and made fun of every Broadway show from the last 40 years.
from all of them. Yeah,
I mean,
all
just
of them.
got funny. Nostradamus' nephew tells these two guys who are friends with Shakespeare and are trying to compete with Shakespeare that they're going to make that the next big thing in theater is going to be musicals, and he has to explain what musicals are to them, but he does but he combines like every single musical into one, kind of like the Book of Arnold.
Okay.
Like mixing in like Star Wars and Star
Oh my
Trek
God.
and everything, like
So
just
fun.
mixing in everything as he has more visions of it. But he thinks that
Cats on stage.
That can't be
No,
right.
no, that's
No,
it.
that's it. Cats. And all the people dancing and singing are like, cat? What? And he's like, and then hair. Hair. He's not a ghost. He's a phantom. I mean, there were things in there so goofy, but he thinks that Shakespeare's biggest play that he's going to be the most known for is called Omelette.
Oh, okay. I get
That there's something about a Danish, so they think it's all about breakfast foods. So they try to make Hamlet be about breakfast foods,
yeah.
and it just goes stupidly, silly wrong from there. As they try to get all the lines in Hamlet, which is where just every single cliche you've ever heard in your life comes from Hamlet. Like
yeah.
neither
Right.
a borrower nor a lender be.
Right.
Like everything you've ever heard someone say out loud comes from Hamlet at some point. So to have all those things be referring to breakfast foods, just fucking wrong. And then people dressed as omelets
So
tap
funny.
dancing. You're just fucking done.
So
Did they have very varied omelets? Like, was there a Denver? Was there a chorizo omelet?
Oh,
Was
they
it with a
definitely
different
made a Denver omelet joke.
Yeah, there was. It was wrong, but a delight. And actually was left humming, left the first act.
Gotta hate Shakespeare. Yeah.
And mine was the bottom the bottoms are gonna end up on top, which it was just fucking wrong.
Well, so what else did you do
Good
with
time
that?
was had by all.
What else besides that,
It really
Kat?
was funny.
What else have I done? Oh, you know what? I picked up another job again. I've resumed the Lyft driving.
Oh,
I have.
Oh, that
Now,
was
is this-
you
I
that
have
was
the-
doing that.
now is this
Yeah.
is this another reason? Another reason to stay out of the house? Is that
Well,
what?
because we're poor people,
Oh.
so more money is good.
Got it.
Yeah,
She's got a
that's-
theater addiction now. That's
Right.
ain't
Right,
cheap.
that ain't cheap, especially with parking next year.
yeah.
My God, you gotta
Let
start
me tell you,
saving up.
my
for that.
Hamilton bill alone is my monthly income. Look,
Yeah. Oh, gee, fuck.
Mayor Bill de Blasio just won in New York,
did he?
according to breaking news
Breaking
that just showed up on my Fellatone. Yeah, so you're back to lifting.
Yeah, so I'm back to lifting.
Bootsy is doing it and loves it.
Yeah, you know what? It's super fun, and I was out yesterday. I should have gone out today, but I had other things to do, and just had a lovely time. They've updated the app because I haven't done it, and it's been 2 years. Honestly,
Has
yeah.
it been
It's-
that
I think
long?
it's been that
God,
long.
time does fly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So the app's a little changed, and
Now, how does it
People are
work?
same.
Like, it may not be hugely important, but just curiosity makes me ask. So you haven't done it for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you literally just call somebody and be like, "I'm back. Can I resume?" And do you
I
just
don't even have to talk to anybody. So all I had to do.
really?
Oh yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Because
This one's in.
I'm approved as a driver, and they have no reason to dump me off.
Right.
Right.
You just been on vacation
Right.
for a very long
Right.
Oh yeah.
No, because it's work as you like.
Right. And your vehicle hasn't changed, so nothing.
My vehicle hasn't changed, so I did have to. It's a boring story, but I'll try and make it short. So my
The whole show's boring.
right.
The hell?
So suck it up, listeners.
Yeah. Buttercup.
So as time goes on, we changed insurance companies for better rates or whatever, and it turns out that for whatever reason, it was okay with State Farm to list both Sharon and I on our insurance policies and just go on with our day. But American Family was being kind of shitty about it and only issued proof of insurance the way that the car was titled.
Okay.
And I joke about it all the time, but it's true that Sharon owns all the things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've always gotten better financing when she buys things. So
Okay.
when we bought the van, it was Sharon's van. And so I went to reactivate Lyft over the summer, and they kicked back my proof of insurance because it expires periodically. And
Sure.
you have to like re-upload your documents. And they kicked it back and said, nope, we have to have your name on it. So I called the insurance company and bitched and went round and round with a hateful woman who works in their office.
They're
She used to
everywhere,
work
by the way.
Did she used to work in Kentucky?
She might have. I have a story about her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Kim Davis, American Insurance. Can I
Yeah.
help you?
Yeah.
So I had to wait until, and it was at the time the plan to do so. I had to wait until I paid off my car, and then we got to the DMV to retitle the van, so that I could so that they could reissue the insurance with my name on
Sure.
it, and then it was within 10 minutes. I uploaded the documents, like tick tick tick. I got an email said, "Okay, you're good to go,"
Yippee!
and sure as shit, I was ready.
Cool. So you're back in business. Are the Joe had asked? I see him asking. The passenger demand still good? How do you like Lyft over Uber, or did you ever Uber?
So I did Uber. I don't think that I will try and go back to Uber, because I think Lyft has gained enough popularity. Joe's question was, is the demand still good? It was. I mean, I was just out on a Monday afternoon from like 3 to 7, and I didn't stop. Like, I went back to back. And now they have this thing where they tell you when you're dropping somebody off that they've already queued somebody up for you. So you just,
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I think I actually have seen that when I'm riding in the car.
Uh-huh.
I can see them stack up. Like they get hit while we're riding. I'm like, Jesus,
yeah. So they've got a couple new features. I got a notification late last night that somebody was trying to schedule a pickup, because you can now like try and schedule a time to be picked up. and they were offering it because it was in my area. I clearly didn't want to go out at like 12:30 on a Monday night, so I declined it. But yeah, you can like schedule pickups and like stack
Right,
yourself
it's like if somebody's
up.
trying to go to the airport at a certain
And
time.
that's what it was.
Yeah, okay. No,
Yeah,
and I think that's a great service. I mean, that really is, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to get, in the olden days, to get cabs to even deal with you on that. But no, that's fantastic. And for somebody who's got a schedule on a sleeper, well, I there was one morning I got a lift. I figured, I was actually going to the airport, and it was a lift, and the guy lived like in Surprise but worked downtown, and he just happened to catch. He saw me, he caught it, but literally he was driving all the way in. He made a run from here to the airport and then just went to work.
Oh sure.
But otherwise, you could have scheduled
that
stuff.
inline feature
Yeah.
is kind of cool. I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, you can do this thing where if you have a little bit of flex time, but you're actually going somewhere, you can tell them that you're in destination mode, and it'll try to match you up with riders that are going your same direction.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Which is, I mean, maybe kind of handy for me because I'm coming from Scottsdale all the way into Central Phoenix. I might be able to catch some riders that way. I'll try it and report back.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
exciting.
I had a driver, some point, that was talking about taking a fare out to, like where his car had been towed, and it just being like the worst part of town at the worst time of night.
Oh, I bet.
And he kept pinging where he was, and there's some kind of a feature, so if you don't feel safe,
Oh, wow.
you can ping back to Uber, Lyft in the sky, and you can do it. From what
The
I
mothership.
understand, you can do it from the passenger or the driver can do it, saying that something's not
I'm here.
quite
I'm here.
right.
I'm here. Right.
And you just keep putting your location, and it keeps up in real time and puts somebody somewhere on alert. So I don't know if you find out about this. I'm curious about that.
Right on.
But they're starting to sell that as a safety feature that, just like cabs back in the day when you didn't live in a
Right.
a more populated section, were a little sketchy. Well, now that's where Uber and Lyft kind of thrive. That was their whole selling point, was they were going into areas that cabs were like, nah,
Right,
we don't
driving
Maybe
really
I'm not
far.
going that far
Right.
out. Yeah.
So who
Well,
knows?
And for crying out loud, as big as the valley is getting, now that the 303, which is again great listing for people who aren't here, but the 303 is way west of here, way west of Central Phoenix. But there are so many housing communities that you can literally get a lift from anywhere, going anywhere.
Sure.
It's crazy, and I'm sure in cities like
Pick
LA,
up a
it's-
passenger on your way to California. You know what I mean?
right,
For real.
right out of downtown and drop them off in Litchfield Park and make $4, or I don't know how much
God,
money
it
you
would
make.
hope it'd be more than $4.
be
Why
more-
don't
it would be more than
I don't. I
$4.
just am throwing a number out, people. I don't know how these things work. Clearly, I'm not a budgetary man. Anyway, so there.
No, Amina's going to sleep. And she's
Oh.
Good night, Amina.
told the NSA to fuck off and stop
I mean-
listening.
Well, there's that.
Listen all you like is what I say.
I do too.
At least somebody's
Ms.
listening.
Perkins, aside from theater, also, which we've already gone over.
Yeah, theater. Decided to get back into the fitness thing because my gym after.
And congratulations to you on the fitness thing. I saw your
Oh,
post.
did you see the belt
the
notch
belt
thing?
notch?
I know, it's
yes.
very exciting.
very exciting.
That's what, and the oddity is that last week without even trying, I pulled past notch 3 into 4, and I was like, it was only that day, but but still, it's
Listen,
like that hasn't happened
one
in
day
a
at a
while.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, congrats to you on that. In fact, the picture, I thought it was my belt because it looked. I'm like, oh no, it's not mine.
No, no.
Like, how did
There's
you get
more
a
than one belt in the world.
No, right, but it looked like my my black belt that has a groove that's been worn in it.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're working.
Yeah, so the gym at my corner got
Oh, that's right,
beautifully refurbished and reopened, and
And is it larger than it was, or did they do something different?
it's larger because they got rid of the females only section. There was don't feel like you're being a victim of a predator. So there was like a gym, a separate
okay.
walled off area that was for females only that didn't want to be.
Did you like that area?
I did. I thought it very.
Did they call it Ladyland?
Oh la la land.
They called it something, but they got rid of that and opened it up. But the locker room is very nice. They have like a whole stretching area, so like you don't
That's
feel like
nice.
a complete turd. Doing
Right.
stretches in
Like up against the wall, 7 feet from some dude on the stairmaster.
right. You're not like staring somebody down trying to like stretch. And the stretch area is very nice. There's some 30-minute workout that you can do if you just do the circuit of machines in order.
I don't know what
in
else
30
is in that
minutes.
complex, but just this morning as I was driving past it at 30, like I drove past it at 5:50 this morning.
Ugh.
And that parking lot, I've never seen that parking lot that full. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
since
what the hell?
Even when it was
That's a
back
peak
in the
time
day
for
when
the
it
gym,
was
though.
when it was fries.
Right, but A, I'm never up that early, and B, I knew it had just reopened, so I wasn't sure if it was
And,
larger.
Like all of a sudden, there's eye candy. Like they spent their time recruiting
Pretty
cuter
people.
folk to come in.
All
and
right.
there's some cute men's in there. Like
I'll write that down
yeah,
too.
so and it's-
Cruise Gym at.
Whatever kind of motivation you need. Listen,
oh, exactly.
20 minutes on the
It's a
treadmill does
nice-
enough.
Can you get
It's-
s'mores there?
Yeah, it's a nice bike ride. They have a little room with like aqua beds where you can get the water massage. Or they have
Wow.
vibrating chairs. They have tanning booths. They have the ultrasonic light
Oh, the red light.
shit.
Hmm?
But no, I don't know what this is for.
I need to switch gyms. My gym's been overcharging me for 3 months, and I can't seem to find a
Well, look-
manager to fix it.
You look like
and-
Al if you go to his gym.
Right, exactly. These breasts could be yours. Should be yours. I'm not sure how to say that. So
Just what I've always wanted.
so hopefully it'll become a habit, is what we're saying.
That's good.
I
no,
got
that's really good.
derailed last spring
Yeah.
by the asthma, and then just never went back. I was doing pretty good, and then the life-altering asthma attacks kind of set me back. But I'm like,
And do you go from getting off work in the morning, right? Is that what you were doing?
well, this week I just went on days off
Oh, okay.
because I was completely beat down to shit by the time I would get off
Yeah.
work. But maybe that'll change. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of exercise and, you know, a few days of some nice stretching in that little stretch room. It's very nice to go somewhere and
Sure, that's lovely for you.
the ball is
Do
completely
your yogas.
Yeah, the ball is all inflated, unlike mine at home, which I never put the air back in it. And it
Mine
really-
turned into a kid toy, and it's rotting in the backyard somewhere.
But I have to tell
Oh.
you, those therapy balls, get one for your correct height or maybe a little bit taller, and that helps your back so
real.
much. I feel like I'm an inch taller just being back on that because I haven't been doing that at home in a while. And oh my God, to be on a ball that's just a little bit too big for me.
Yeah.
It honestly is. But to stretch that much, oh my God. Like to actually have my back in
Like,
a full
bent the
arch,
way
like
it
I didn't
should
even
be,
know I
yeah.
could still do that.
And
I-
arching the other direction, yeah.
Yeah.
Not slouch. Yeah.
Yeah, with completely like hands on the floor behind me and like a bridge to tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm kind of impressed that the osteoporosis lets that happen. I don't really have osteoporosis, but
Well, I think
women my age
we
frequently
say a lot
do.
of things
Yeah.
that aren't really true.
preventative measures, Alfie.
Yeah.
Preventative measures.
And you, sir?
Just a week of corporate and work and things changing, and I got my since we were last together. The next morning, I got up last Wednesday and took my vehicle to the dealership for what I assumed was going to be like a day and a half of fix return. No, it was drop off Wednesday and got back today.
Oh my
well,
God.
because you make an appointment, you set it there. It's Wednesday, right? Boom, boom. Well, by the time they get it in, then they do this, and then somebody's not there one day and doesn't have they can't click on whatever to order whatever part. So then we sit through Saturday, we sit through Sunday, then Monday, guess what? The parts arrive finally, or they get ordered, or however the fuck that
Yeah.
worked. So anyway, it's a very nice service at the dealership. I drove a brand new Ford Escape with literally everything you can put on a Ford Escape. It had it. The panoramic sunroof, every option, it does everything. But I'm used to the Explorer. And I thought the Explorer was kind of small when I got it. Oh, dear God. I got in the Escape, and I was like this. It was like, oh, my, what am I driving here? I'm driving a Hot Wheel. So, and it was one of those eco-friendly. But, I mean, it was a lovely car.
This is
brand
compared
new.
to the S10 that he drove.
Right.
I still feel like I've got more room in the S10. It just doesn't have any safety features other than a belt and a brake pedal.
Because you're basically sitting on a roller skate in
Who
the
cares?
S10.
I'm good. But and the car had 50 miles on it when I took it off the lot. But it was good. It was lovely that they loaned me the car, no charge, and walked out of there with a zero payment on anything because everything was covered by warranty.
Oh, that's very
It was
good.
done. But it was 5 days of not having my vehicle, where your routine, your stuff is in your vehicle. You plug in your phone here. You do this.
Yeah.
You carry certain things with you. But anyway, so I got that back. That was all done. Other than that, I wanted to go to Palm Springs for Pride this weekend, but that didn't work out. Partly because I didn't have my Explorer.
Well,
And
Jesus, everyone else did.
oh, they all did. All did. Ross Matthews, our We all know who Ross Matthews is from Entertainment Television and the Red Carpet and all those other things. He spends a fair amount of time at Stacy's at Palm Springs.
Oh, how funny.
He's a wine drinker. He pops in, him and Salvador, his boyfriend, pop in, have a couple beverages, close their tab, walk across the street, sing a few songs, and then move on and go home.
Oh, that's fun.
So he's been in there multiple times, which is kind of funny. So that was interesting to see. And I'm like, damn it, I want to be there when Ross is there. Someday it'll happen.
Someday your prince will come.
Someday.
That will be fun.
Yeah,
Prince.
I mean, it's a song.
yes,
all I got.
it is a song.
We're very gender questioning today.
God, oh, we are. I didn't realize we were, but okay, that's fine. Well, let's move on to
I
this.
have a lot.
You got a
of-
mouse in your
I
pocket
have a lot
there,
of
Al
questions about
Perkins?
general
Gender fluid.
gender fluidity today.
It's all like, okay. Anyway, we'll go to this and see how it works out.
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
Starting with cats.
So I'm building a fashion empire.
Oh.
I know. And I'm obsessed.
Oh.
So
Al.
And see.
next
Wow.
callers.
Yes. Okay. So what? You want to
So
elaborate on this?
The fundraising T-shirts
Yes.
are out of control.
Okay.
We're pretty sure we're going to start adding other clothing items. Like, I'm not even kidding. We're building a fashion empire right here in Phoenix.
I love it.
I know.
Okay.
We're going to add sweatshirts and T-shirts. And so I just, like, the poor guy at Brand X that is my contact over there, like, 3 times a day, I'm like, hey, do you have this and how much is it? Hey, do you have this and how much is it? Like, he's sending me 9 million quotes for all the things.
That's their business they're in. I'm sure they look.
Well, I'm
you're like a non-commissioned salesperson for them. Sounds like because you're just selling shit right and
Because
left.
I'm just buying their shit and reselling it for 100% markup. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was my next question. Are you somehow getting? I realize you're all about fundraising and helping others, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping somehow Mama's getting something out of this.
Yes. So
Okay.
your $20 T-shirt does not cost $20 to produce when you
understood.
order
Right.
them 50 at a time.
Sure.
Most people don't order 50 shirts at a time, so that's
Gotcha.
how the
What's the
capitalism works.
What's the latest? What's the latest?
The latest design is the Drewby Star
Okay.
for our friend Drew that's been at Cobalt almost since it opened.
Yeah, God, he has been there a long time.
Yeah, he's talking things like 9 years. It's been a long time. I didn't know he was old enough to have been there 9 years.
I'm gonna go with yes.
He is, yeah. It turns out.
Wasn't he at The Rock, though, for a while?
I mean, everybody's worked
honestly,
at the Rock for a minute. so-
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, could not tell you where, because in this town, most everybody's been everywhere else at one
I think
point.
I'm the only one that in Phoenix that has never worked at the
Right,
Rock.
because you landed someplace and stayed forever, and now you're gonna stay forever here where you are.
Right.
Yeah, because I was like,
I'm a lifer,
there was
company man.
Yeah. Oh, I'd still be at Winks if it was open. Are you kidding?
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. So we are the Drewby Star shirt is going to continue to support the Brian Wiley Scholarship.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and if we become as big a mogul as I want to, maybe we'll even be able to give out an additional scholarship. So
Oh, that's
we'll just
very
keep
nice.
keep funding that fund and sending homos to college.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Homos need education too.
homos
Well
need
done.
education.
Gotcha.
Oh, I want to be part of the getting homos in education.
You want to come play? All right.
The Gay It Forward.
Sure. Oh, I like
We've got a hoodie about to come out. I will. Yeah.
Oh,
a
he
Mama
is
Lego
on board.
Yeah, Mama Lego hoodie.
It's a zip up. It's gonna have a lovely like winky little star on the back. Very cute.
Well, I want to see you wear that.
Am I gonna look like Carl's Jr.?
The signs are much bigger.
I feel like no, but I'm gonna have to look at weights. Did I accidentally rip off their logo?
This sounds vaguely familiar. Are people gonna ask me for $6 burgers?
Or try to drive through him.
That's allowed.
Oh.
I don't want to turn down that customer.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
Why didn't I just think of that and use their logo to begin with?
I think because of lawsuits and
Isn't it a
copyright.
winking star?
No, his isn't winking. It's just smiling. So we're in the good.
yeah.
We're good.
You've given it something.
If you put that hoodie on him, you'll have a winking star. He'll just wink at everybody.
But who knows? Who knows? We're just gonna keep on making them. Jeffrey was making a sad face because he wanted a Cobalt shirt, and I said, "Well, get in line."
Oh wait, he wants to do a Cobalt, like a new team shirt for Cobalt.
No, like for public consumption
Oh, okay.
fundraising. Yeah. No, he wants in on the fun, but with
Okay.
with a Cobalt logo on it somehow. So yeah,
Look
we're
at
gonna
you.
we're gonna continue.
I'm enjoying the restructuring that you're doing without doing it.
Yeah. They're dragging the owner of the bar into his own adventures.
Right. You know what you should do? Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, it is. You're glad you came up with that, and you're just moving on. I
Listen.
like it.
Listen. As long as everybody stays happy.
Yeah, exactly. It
all I
keeps
care.
marching to
and-
my drum.
And makes more money.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're
And
making
sends
things
one
more
queer to
efficient.
college.
Well,
Hell.
no, I was thinking just the bar itself.
Right.
She's making efficiencies just within the operation of the bar. That helps.
Listen, our fates are directly tied to each other.
Yes.
Like
yes.
you know what I mean? Especially in a small place like Cobalt or any of the gay bars in town. Like a small place like that, our fates are directly related. Like
Yes.
if the bar makes money, I make money. If I'm not making money and the bar's not making money, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? A rising tide lifts all ships.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at
that's
you.
very nice. Is that from Omelet?
That's from Omelet too.
A rising egg lifts all omelets. Put that on the back of a shirt. Your rising tide. I'm sure somebody will love it.
Yeah.
Mr. Perkins, obsessed about anything?
Hold on, I have to finish this sentence.
No.
So Anant is saying he's obsessed with random trivia, and so he provided the fact that if you fart constantly for 6 years and 9 months, you'll be able to produce enough gas equivalent to an atomic bomb.
And
So
you
I'm
won't
like,
be able to sit down for the next 6 years and 9 months.
so now he's the random trivia
uncomfortable
guy from
after a while.
Cheers, Cliff Clavin.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I had to explain who.
You know, it's a little known fact there that if you fought for 6 years and 9 months, you're able to produce enough gas equivalent to an atomic bomb there, Sammy. See, that's how that works out. You can make any trivia
was pretty
question.
good, yeah.
Thank you. Well, I've seen Cheers.
That's really good.
Actually, that was not my best Cliff Clavin, but I'm good. I'm okay. Oh, actually, I didn't even see.
We'll take adequate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll
Adequate
accept
Cliff
adequate
Clavin for
Cliff
for,
Clavin.
for
I've been
1,000.
striving for mediocrity for a long time.
Well, as Kat knows, most all of our impersonation shows or accent shows or dialect shows never are spot
I
on.
love
but
when we
God,
do
they're
accents.
entertaining.
But they're delightful.
They're delightful.
So
It's a
fun.
Maybe not at the time, but when you listen back later, how fucked up were they?
Turns out for the last 2 years, it's been the coffee.
Never has a second cup at home. Al, anything else?
Well, it turns out my obsession. I got there too early. I have been waiting all day for the results of the Senate race in
Yeah.
Alabama. Not today.
Oh.
Turns out Alabama's special election is sometime in the future, which I'm going to feel free to Google right
Do
now.
look that up. I'm sure it's gonna be great.
I like the sincerity to which you said that.
I didn't realize that there wasn't sincerity in my voice. I think that I'm sincere all the time.
You really just went, oh, sure, that's going to be great. It's on December 12th.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So
Was it great?
I felt it.
because as they were talking about polls closing, I had rushed to my TV to find out the fate
Oh,
of
because Roy Moore.
is running.
Oh.
And I thought,
So
how are they going to
scary.
do there? And I couldn't figure out why the guys on Pod Save America weren't talking
freaking out about that.
Why
Sure.
wasn't that on their topic of conversation? Because they were really focusing a lot on the Virginia governor's race and the fact that one of the polls had him up by 11, and the guys on Pod Save America were adamant that you should act like he's down by 3 and get out recruiting. Like, don't become complacent.
Right.
Right.
Don't be like Michigan last year, where that didn't see the turnout that they wanted.
Or
because-
America last year. when we
because
got the
people
president we
believed the
got.
polls
Right.
and then just kind of went with it, not realizing like the polls rely on you to go vote.
Right.
So I don't know. The last number I saw was what's his butt in Virginia winning by 5, but I don't know if that's been updated or where we ended up. But I just kept waiting to find out like when they were going to talk about Roy Moore, and then somebody said like, well, this bodes well for those working in Alabama on the Democratic side that it's not a loss. It's not necessarily
Right,
a
anything
lost
can
cause.
happen.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the lesson that I've taken overall, that like literally anything can happen.
Yeah. So
Okay, fucking go for it. That mine inspector job is mine.
You're gonna get there. You're gonna make it after all. Kat.
Oh,
Look
so
at you.
and I
So
and
nice.
I voted today, so it was not a lot to vote on, but it was
just a bond.
it's always exciting, and I forgot to thank the local workers. the book readers, as I call them.
Sure, because
I always feel like I'm interrupting just a thrilling suspense novel. When you tap them on the shoulder on off years, they're like, "Oh, you want to vote?"
So I want
I
everything
came
be
here to read a
mail-in.
nice book.
But we have a great new system for those who did not vote in person. It's all computerized now, and you scan your driver's license. You walk up, you do a touch screen, you scan your driver's license. It recognizes
So that means the
you.
data goes directly to Moscow?
Yeah, exactly.
Just skip the middleman, I'd
Yeah.
say.
That way you don't have to implicate
Right.
the book readers.
Right.
So that it was kind of cool to do that new system and
Right on.
verify your address and your ID that fast, all based on your. So there's no like writing down of stuff. It's automatically in a database. So I guess you have to trust computers because that's how it went. But then I walked over,
Sure.
and I don't know if. I guess I changed to early voting again and forgot, so I showed up in person. So I had
Well,
to,
you
like,
say hi. You seem to say this every year that you forget that you sign up for early voting. You
it's
do
because
this
they
all the time.
They fucked us over that one year, so I don't
So
trust them.
things.
Oh, and they fucked us over last year with the in-person voting. So.
Right, and it changed. So what's his name? Fontes stuck
Adrian
everybody on the early voting list. Everybody got a mail-in ballot.
Oh,
So
that's
you may
good.
or may not have signed up for it 17 times.
That's why it showed up.
Right, but it will continue to show up because he just said everybody gets one.
Well, that's smart.
Oh, I think that's lovely because then you can just send it in and everybody miraculously the voting goes
Because
up.
there was this expectation there, and they the book readers mentioned it 2 or 3 times, like, oh, you just drop your ballot off, and I'm like,
Right,
where-
because that's probably what most people were doing.
Right.
Yeah, and especially for something so, and it, oh Jesus, they moved it out of a church into a school, which made me happier.
Yeah.
But then they did it. I voted at the worst possible time to
Oh,
be
really?
pulling into a grade school
Lunchtime.
in a white van with no windows.
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Like, yeah.
Oh, right.
3:15 is what
Yeah,
I
that's
decided.
not-
Right about when they were releasing all of the children.
Yeah.
Yeah, during the catch
The
and release
hounds.
program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which is more fun than it looks like.
so
re-
it was
really just
funny
is.
to be
Telling me.
really interested in
Hey,
one
hey.
particular election out of all of them, and then finally hear about, oh, this will affect this. I'm like, oh, God damn it, fucking Alabama, get your shit together.
Fucking Alabama.
Well, someday.
And I forget because it's a seat. It's not. It's because it's an appointed seat. They can pick any fucking date they
Right,
want
it's
to.
because the Keebler elf left.
But then why not pick election day? Like that's the thing I don't understand.
Voter suppression.
Yes, no, it really is.
No,
Pick
yeah.
a random day when people aren't expecting to vote to throw them off their guard. Like,
Right.
it's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, of course, Jeff Sessions probably made that law, even though that's not possible since he was a U.S. senator and not a state senator. Don't make me go down that rabbit hole.
Doesn't matter.
Your obsession, milady?
Marty,
Hi.
you happen to have any obsessions?
Yeah, the fact that you guys are calling it Cliff Clavin, Cliff Calvin.
What?
Oh, it's spell check.
Oh, got it. I'm like, cause that's
What?
I can't.
his name.
This new.
Got it.
On the
Oh,
chat room,
it's,
it
an,
misspelled
it's an
Clavin.
iPad. Yeah, it's an iOS thing that they've got to fix. From what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yes, and so it's the spell check has gotten out of control.
I
And if
agree
you
with
try to do an I as the first word of a sentence,
Right.
it turns it into
A.
space box with a question mark inside of it.
Because it's an autocorrect.
that. Oh.
It autocorrects, but
Right, but it's a
Wait,
flaw.
what does
It's
it
already been
autocorrect to
published.
that?
They're go- An I comes up with what is it? We don't know what an I is.
Oh my God, that Whitney Houston joke makes so much
Right,
more sense
it's
now.
totally is. And I will always love you. I.
yeah. So I had to
That
look.
makes so much
I
more
had to
sense
look it
now.
up last night because I was like, all right, am I having a stroke? Like, and what symbol is that? Like, who? So
Just
I.
meant autocorrect.
Yeah, I had to look into it and I actually fixed it myself, but I was just bitter. 'cause-
Actually, if you find that Whitney Houston meme, I'll throw it up on the screen because I'd
That's
forgotten all about that.
Hilarious.
I actually tried to spell HIPAA today, just in a work text, and
Because why
I
else
said,
would you spell HIPAA?
for real?
Yeah.
and,
It's
and
fun to
apparently
say.
it's HAPA.
Hoppa.
HAPA.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying
I'm
to have
like,
a
what? And then you send it, and you look like a fucking moron.
Right.
You're
What the
like,
hell
oh,
is she
this
doing?
is
Doesn't she
neat.
know these are
She's
SHIPPO?
on drugs.
This is neat. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
this
remember
is
what
nice.
word I was having a conversation with Doug last night. And first I was trying to say, like, I read this article, and it kept changing to that. And then it kept auto-correcting whatever person's name I was trying to type
Okay.
and changing into that. So I couldn't tell him who I was talking about because it looked like I was automatically redacting it. And it just got stupid.
Right.
And I had to, I was like, I'm 3 seconds away from calling
That's
you and
funny.
just saying the
Yeah,
name.
right.
Because he's probably
Maybe this is
sitting there
Apple's
going, like,
way of getting us to
yeah.
call each other again.
Jesus Christ. Just
That's
awful.
very funny.
Awful, awful.
There's a is something I am absolutely obsessed with, and I love this person. And her name
Is it Kat Carlson, future mine inspector?
No, absolutely not.
What a wise
Not
choice.
even no, just absolutely
No, just
not.
Absolutely
absolutely not.
That hurts.
You're fine.
So much pain
Yeah, I believe you.
in my heart.
I see that. Right. So there is a gal named JJ Smith, who there's this funny as shit. She has a YouTube channel, and I saw Jill Kimmel, who's friends with Buddy Early, Jimmy Kimmel's sister.
Right.
Had this gal on there and just said, I think I've fallen in love with this gal. And I thought, well, I wonder. She does these voices and this very smart, it's ridiculous. And I love it. Like, it's
Can we get her on the
fucking
show?
ridiculous. Probably,
Because we
maybe.
do voices too.
We do, but they're
What
a little
happened earlier?
different.
You missed it.
Oh, I see. But what? It's How to Disguise Yourself and Steal a Man's Soul is the one that I just loved. And
That feels
so-
like useful information.
Oh my God, for real. And she's just very, very funny. So that is my obsession. Her name is JJ Smith. And you can subscribe to her YouTube channel, or she has, Twitter and Instagram and whatever. I don't know how. Well, maybe I can put this in the chat room. I'll try to. Because if you get a second and if you think it's fucking stupid, well, then stop watching it. But otherwise, hysterical to me. She's my new spirit animal. I keep calling her my spirit animal. And Aaron's like, well, I don't think she's funny at all.
Well, all I'm getting out of
I
JJ
think
Smith is
she's-
a smoothie woman.
I love smoothies.
It's right here.
Oh, okay.
I can't find that meme. I was looking for it.
It's a J, and it's on, if you go to my page.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for something totally different.
I'm
My
like,
bad.
I didn't, it's not a meme.
No.
so-
I'm looking for a Whitney
So-
Houston meme about
should it look
autocorrect.
Okay.
Because I'm getting a diet guru, so I have to find her.
Yeah, it's just funny. I'll share it and put it
Oh, and
in Messenger.
I forgot to give my real obsession, so I'll throw it into entertainment.
What are you having faux obsessions now? What is that? God damn!
Yes, I-
Sometimes you have to improvise. You get a little stage fright.
I forgot
you
my
know?
real obsession.
Oh, obsessions.
What is it?
I panic.
No, I'm gonna do it in entertainment.
Oh,
Oh.
Luckily, it'll bounce back over there.
just
Hi,
slide it in.
Harry.
the-
Entertain-
Hi,
slide-
Nance.
Obsession part 2.
But yeah, duh.
What else is
Sur
in
la table.
I wrote something so fast
Oh,
that I
good.
don't
We're going
know.
to speak French again.
I wrote something so fast that I don't even know what I wrote, so I'm not sure. So, because I had 2 obsessions already, and that was going to be my third, but
We're
I
off
forgot.
to a great start.
But it had to do with something that you two were talking about. It made me think of it. 2 obsessions. One, you all have known because we've talked about the DNA stuff on Ancestry.com and how I keep tracing back and finding things about family and whatnot. Well, this week.
Dun dun dun.
Is there a breaking news stinger?
This week in things we don't remember or things we didn't know, we found out that my father's father had a 4th wife.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, found that out. Between wife 1 and 2, there was a 1.5 in there.
Consecutive or concurrent?
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
no, there were many divorces, many marriages.
One of those Mormons,
but,
you know.
but yeah, he did have it coming. No, so I was going through some stuff, and
Thank you.
this name popped up, and I'm like, this name sounds familiar to me. Was it a sister? Like, I don't understand, because when you in the directory, they weren't on the same line and shown as, husband and wife. It was like the brother's name, my grandfather's name, and this other name. I'm like, was she a cousin?
But last name McKee.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, who in the hell? So I said it to my mom. I'm like, what is this name? And even she at first was like, I don't know. That sounds familiar, but I don't know. Well, backtrack just a little bit. A woman in California whose grandmother was married to my grandfather's father. We're going back into the early 1900s.
Okay.
She and I were emailing each other because I had some stuff on my tree that wasn't jiving. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. Who are these people? And she had created a tree too and had some of the same people. Well, we were messaging back and forth. Come to find out that my grandfather's brother's son,
I can't keep, I'm like, carry the
my
one.
grandpa McCann,
Wait.
like my great
We need a
uncle's son,
diagram. We
His
need a
nephew.
diagram.
second would be his second cousin.
Okay.
Would be my father's second cousin. Anywho, she's like, well, cousin Larry knows all this stuff. Can I give him your email address? So this Larry,
Yeah.
who's in Texas, so we started emailing back and forth. Well, he gave me a plethora of information. He's like, well, Naomi is your grandfather's second wife. And we're like, what? And my mom was like, oh my God, totally, we figured this out. Well, it took forever because everybody was like, well, then they got married in Vegas. So last night I'm online with Las Vegas, who apparently has somebody stationed in the marriage
Good morning.
office.
This is Las
Right,
Vegas.
exactly.
Vegas, can you hear me now?
Well, apparently, because of how Vegas works, somebody is in their office of marriage licenses all the time.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So I sent an,
Sometimes it's Elvis.
Yeah,
I sent an
you don't
email
know.
in the middle of the night
I'm
saying,
all shook up.
I'm
Trying
looking
to
for
think about
information,
Elvis.
blah, blah, blah. She goes, well, here's the link. You need, he literally emailed me back. Here's the link. Well, I found a couple other family members that I knew had been married in Vegas. There's no record of him. But I dug a little deeper in the well and found out they got married in Clark County, Washington.
Oh my gosh.
So I found this woman.
Wow.
But it's just been interesting to figure out in this line of events. I found this other person who
Sure.
I kind of remember hearing the name, but I never knew how she fit in. But it's been interesting. So
Well, she didn't fit in real well.
apparently
was a-
she was a crazy lady
There
from
was,
Vegas.
there was a third and a
Kind of
fourth.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, no. Well, the third,
And she ran away from Vegas to get married in Clark County, Washington.
she lived
Like you do.
Northern Oregon. He met her in Vegas.
There it is.
And then they
Okay,
went to
now-
Washington State
She was a
apparently,
showgirl.
and then came back to Missouri. And
She worked
according
from 8 till 4.
according to my mom,
liked yellow.
our little hometown of Missouri just wasn't big enough for her.
Oh, I can
So
believe
she
yeah.
am strayed pretty quick,
Yeah.
I guess, out of that whole mess. But
Oh, that'd
anyway,
be me. War Bride ends up in Kansas. Yeah. I've seen
But
Hedwig.
you-
I'm going to
you
go
handle
now.
it
that
was
well.
just it was just interesting to find out something like that in your history. You're like, I don't know of this person, and somebody gets into an email. Oh, well, that was your grandfather's second wife. Oh, didn't know. Okay.
Sure.
Anyway, interesting.
Welcome to the family.
Again, I found other pictures of another grandma and grandpa of mine in junior high and high school, and I'd never seen these pictures before.
That's
so again,
pretty fun.
It's still cool
Yeah.
to see, and then you figure
Yeah.
out certain things about them. But no, I'm still in this little deal, and this guy in Texas emailed me. He goes, I don't know why you care about the McKee history from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, but looks like you're doing okay. But I'm like, well, because I don't know of this history.
Sure.
That's the only reason
Yeah.
I want to know. I mean, it's recent enough. I don't care really so much about something in the 1800s or 1700s, but this is recent enough history, and my mother knew this person, but had
Right.
forgotten that who she was.
Yeah.
But like,
Well,
so
when you
these-
get to 2, 3,
these-
and 4, I mean, sometimes you forget.
Right. So these people were around. I just never knew her.
Right.
She was gone and out of the life before I was around. But still, it's like she affected my grandfather. I need to know who this woman was,
Sure.
how she falls in the tree of divorces and
Yeah.
drama of my family's life.
And when I was doing the Ancestry.com and I like kind of got stuck for a half a minute on my grandfather's, my mother's stepmother, and then I was like, she hated her. Like they didn't like each other. The lady was mean to my mom. My mom really couldn't wait to get rid of her. Had to miss her funeral because she was giving birth and like didn't really feel all that sad about it, except for it was her father's wife. And I was like, why would I waste time on this? Like as I was reading about it, I'm like, I don't actually
Yeah.
care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no fond memory gonna come out of this or something. I'm gonna
Other
find.
than the fact that when the musical is made
A musical.
of your life, there's going to be a little sub story about the,
The
crazy
omelet.
bitch.
Yeah, it's
The omelets, right? Exactly.
but so I forgot
that.
this too. My DNA report came back.
Yes,
No,
I was just going to
did
ask.
it?
I was going to say, did you have
The
coffee?
least interesting DNA
Oh, no.
report ever on record.
Did
Guess
it say
what?
white male?
Yeah.
You're white. But
But is it because now you've diluted it so much because you had over caffeinated the first one?
Yeah, just
That you watered it
Anglo-Saxon.
down?
Yeah.
but have you married it to your profile
Yes. But
where it shows you cousins?
yeah, so there's and nobody's using their real name. They're all using like
Well, it doesn't matter. You can still get
JJ Titty Bar .2. You know what I mean? Like it's all
Oh.
weird. So, I mean, really, the one is like
Maybe that's real, actually.
Yeah.
And so that would make it even more fun.
it's all like everybody's under
Cousin JJ, is
TT
that
Twitter
you?
twat. Like you know what I mean? Like
but
everybody's
you-
under one account.
It's cousin Twitter
So
twat.
there's some first cousins in there, but the names don't look familiar. So it's like, well, then you would have to find out like who.
They're not supposed to look familiar to you.
Right, exactly. But it's like not coming back with the last name that I know. So now you're calling somebody blind and being like, so someone first cousin wise had a baby that you may may or may
Well,
not
that was
have heard
50
of.
years ago. I don't think you're letting any kind of
that's- no, no,
skeletons fall
but-
out of a closet.
But then you also figure out like it wasn't something anybody talked about.
Oh, sure.
So,
That's
That's
more
fair.
fun.
right. So then,
Well, maybe for you.
the
but I mean,
musical-
yeah,
Is it this way or is it? Does it
Doesn't
matter
matter,
which
no,
way?
it's fine.
Okay.
yeah. But it
Bye.
really was funny that it's just straight up Anglo-Saxon.
Well, no, we're not
Like,
surprised
can't-
at that.
Can't even like claim like Caucasian as a race because we were so far into Western Europe
Sure.
that like the Caucasus Mountains were left
But
behind.
the beautiful thing is you can start adding these people somehow to your tree,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's gonna eventually.
And
you're
you
gonna
never
get
know.
somewhere.
Cousin Twitter Twat might be the one that
Yeah.
opens up the floodgates of information.
Tittybar.2.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I
J,
mean-
that's JJ
Cousin
T-Bar
JJ
Cousin
part
T-Bar.
2.
Twitter Twat.
God,
So-
get to know them.
That's funny. Get to know your family.
right.
But it was funny that like, as far as like country of
Do you need water?
origin. I got it somewhere. As far as country and origin went, like because there was seriously nothing east of Western France. I mean that's as far as we got off the white people map. So it was even more like generic than my sisters. At least they had a little German to spice it up. Like there's nothing.
Sure.
It's like 63% British.
But is theirs super white as well?
with a German kicker. Like,
Right,
they
right.
have-
But no.
You got a French kicker.
yeah,
Well,
they end up. I think they.
No, but how interesting how we've
yeah,
talked about.
I think they end up
how
like
close.
a 16th.
Right.
All of that
'cause
is.
if I look at them, you all look the same to me.
They have a 16th German, and they're a little. Yo, no, seriously, my DNA was
Iris, and that's funny.
as Anglo-Saxon
Right.
as it gets,
Right.
and then the shaved head doesn't help anybody's
No,
fucking
no,
story
no,
for diversity.
but
He
it's
knows how to
good.
buy torches too.
So
They call them tiki.
their story was predominantly Welsh, Irish, with a smidgen of British, and then the German. Where mine is like all Great Britain, like a third of, like 60% Great Britain, like right off the boat, and then a little touch of like Irish.
Did you
know,
have tea with you?
yeah, with the island nation. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
The Scotland, the Wales. There was a little soupçon of
Huh,
those,
huh.
and then it was less than 1% of anything of interest. Like Scandinavia didn't even make a whole
Well,
1%.
I wasn't very excited. I knew mine was gonna come back, with the exception of on the.
I know, but couldn't somebody have had an affair with somebody of an exotic location?
Somebody did have.
we
an affair
still
with
don't
somebody.
know.
Right? Yeah.
And you,
We still don't know, Al.
I guess I got my affair a little bit more
For real,
locally.
yes,
than, yeah,
you
I guess.
sure
Yes,
did.
yes. The milkman rings twice.
yes.
That's,
Hello.
That's a funny way
Yeah.
to. That's a funny way
So,
to look at
well,
it.
now I feel let down. Are you going to go through the list of the first and second? Are you going to try to reach into this? Because I still think there's an answer.
Oh no, yeah. I'll probably send them each.
'Cause if not,
carefully worded email.
Because if not, I got time.
Because they're
I'll
on there.
figure-
They're all on there, so they just got a ding about a first cousin too.
Right. So
Right.
it
So
shows.
those letters are gonna go both ways as to like,
And
wait,
who the
what
hell's
the
that
fuck?
guy?
Who
Yeah.
are you? Where'd you come
Yeah.
from? Because the thing where it says likely or very likely and all that
Who
other
is,
horse
yeah.
shit.
Who's Cunty Missy?
Oh.
Like who's
Oh, and
Missy?
the-
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is
you
your
know.
screen name?
And the
Yeah.
best part was where did your people migrate to? Central
bar?
Pennsylvania. No, the
No.
best part was
Oh,
to
no.
where my parents are both.
Sure.
Both sides of the family are from Dixon City.
Oh.
Like they're both from this small shitty town in Pennsylvania.
Play
I
the
was
music.
like, all
Play
right,
the
can,
music.
can we just make this interesting in some way? Like I couldn't have got here
But-
via like
But doesn't
a
that?
plantation or some kind
Are
of
you
southern
connecting
colony.
with Clayton and I and what we're thinking?
So
right
wait,
now?
so let's hang on. Does
Oh,
the
somebody
do-
knows somebody. Like
Does,
it's yeah.
does the tree fork at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just as well. Like I said, theirs is more mine.
Hi, Nero.
Like we don't come. We're from the same aisle.
I understand. Yeah, and
But-
their bio parents are your parents. I get, but I'm still curious.
Oh no. What I was saying.
You're
like
from the same valley of the sun, whatever valley that is over there.
But they were more. They're more Welsh.
Sure.
Where I was
Have
more
you seen
just
his skin tone?
straight up
Valley of the
England.
Shadows.
So in the days with coming over and who knows how long, like my sister's genetic makeup got them back to Europe by the Civil War. Like we only took that was 3 hops. Like it was no one was born in the 1900s. Like
Okay.
our grandparents were born in the 1800s. So to get to the great grandparents, we were already at country of origin.
Oh, you're already overseas. Okay.
Right, they're already overseas, so it was really easy to figure out. That's how I was able to figure out.
And we were like
where
3 or 4 to get to ours, maybe 5.
So that's why I was able to figure out the math so quickly. Was I didn't need a DNA sample. We got their country of origin right away, and the one that was Canadian, whose name was like Jenny Finnegan, is pretty much going to be Irish.
Do you think
Right.
so?
But I just was curious. What
You know what I mean?
I'm disappointed there wasn't an accent to go along with that.
well, it wasn't old Flanagan.
Yeah,
So that
see,
was
we could have
that
done.
was
We
the
could
thing
have done
about
better.
things. So this one, I mean, it was slightly different, but geographically, in 1860, we're a nation apart. But like in today's
Right.
trains,
I
planes, and
still.
automobiles,
I
we're-
just want to see that list where it shows you the like first cousin, third cousin, likely, or very likely. That's what I want to see.
Oh, the two there. I think there was one first cousin and then 2 that were first or second cousins. Were like 5-star, extremely likely.
Right. Those are the
Please
people I
don't
want to
marry this person.
No, right. But I want to. That's who I want you to reach out to, and I think I just want that answer. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited. So I'm hoping that you're gonna forge ahead.
Yeah.
It would be my luck, like if looking at the little DNA thing, that it would be like, yeah, no, nobody's there.
Because you know what I mean.
Nobody's answering your DNA right now.
You see
Nobody's
the story
paying
about the
attention.
guy that all of a sudden got lederhosen, or the woman who
Yeah, right.
has the
yeah.
Nigerian
Yeah.
hat that she's so proud
Yeah.
of, and
Yeah. Now I know what to put down on that form.
So you
I-
like wine, France? You got
There you go.
oh no, we were
Bonsoir.
less than 1%. Like it's seriously, we never even crossed the channel.
you spend a lot of time at the French grocery.
There you
Yeah.
go. See?
And it's just what I
Oh.
must have loved from looking across the water, because like we just did not go further west than
You can
east.
get this man a baguette.
It was
And it would be
hysterical how
allowed.
small the bubble was of where I could possibly be
Don't know.
from.
I'm still very optimistic and hopeful about this.
Like Finland.
They call this
I love
white
that
land.
Finland, the whitest people on earth, was less than 1/10. No, we're not even going to
No.
allow you blonde.
No.
No. We're not even going to put you up with the blondes, honey. You're just going to
Oh.
stay here in your lane.
You're steering.
Fantastic.
It really was. Just funny.
Well, we're still moving on
So
with this.
are
I
you
know.
like that kind of stuff? Nervous? Kind of. What is it? What is that? Stir? Anything?
A little
Now
I
you're
may.
being psychoanalyzed.
Yeah,
You
I'm
do-
just curious.
You do more of like an Eastern European accent when you ask that question.
Actually, could you kind of give me a little Jessica Fletcher with that?
No, it's
No.
interesting, but it's turned into like reading a book. Like
Okay.
it isn't connect. It's not connected to
Sure.
me. Like to me, I'm reading a story about.
But it's gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's one of those things that I've just kind of like. The interest is kind of fading.
Sure.
In it.
No, it's
Well,
not.
is it because, like, for me, it would be a matter of like, I didn't open the envelope and it didn't say call this person.
Right.
Then
right,
I would be like, okay, I'm in.
Right.
But
I didn't really expect that. I mean, I thought it, but I mean, no, I figured more he was going to get this first cousin. Very likely, we're going to email this person. They're going to be like, "We've been looking for you for 25 fucking years."
Yeah, but
Right.
if
We
it's-
just found out about
and
you.
I'm playing devil's advocate because, like, looking at it from a semi-adopted kind of standpoint, that idea of someone not being interested on the other end is really kind of a daunting thing.
Yeah.
For me, I'm speaking only for
Oh
me.
no, and that's kind of from my angle too. Was like you'd be like, I don't know like who my cousins when they were
Right.
younger had affairs with. Like I don't know who. I don't even know like, and that would be the thing is like
You get to show them all of who you are
And there's a lot.
in your special
Right.
hat.
But that's if they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like he became a priest. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he died
Right.
a week later. Like did he
Yeah.
fathered a child? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Right.
so it's kind of like. You have to open a door that no one knows.
Yeah.
There's somebody like no one
Yeah.
knows there's a door in that wall,
But
and now
you
it's about
knew that going in. I'm more vested in this than you are, clearly. And if you want to turn
Yeah.
it over to me, I'll write the letters and I'll reach out to these people.
I'll get there.
I want this.
Well, and there's
I want to be in the room. I want to be in that room.
I know you
Oh,
should.
the room where it happened.
That's
Yeah.
I knew. I
You
was
know-
trying to get to you.
The
was there for
interesting
you.
piece is that there was such a buildup, and I had an easier path, obviously.
Oh, you was
Oh,
real
yeah.
short.
but real short.
Yeah.
But I had an easier path. But when with meeting Frank, and there was this buildup, kind of exciting. Like here we go. And then I turned 20. You know, and I don't mean that rude to him. I don't mean that in a
Yeah.
rude manner to the to Stephanie or Frankie or Anthony, who was so little at the time. Anthony was. They were a world away,
Yeah.
you know. And so, how do you get to know? And I have 2 nieces, a nephew, and another niece apparently on the way. If I look at Facebook, but I can also look at a whole lot of other people that are pregnant or, you know, just got a new dog and just that, you know, whatever, and be like, oh, look, I'm gonna be an auntie.
Right. Yeah. It's
the same kind of weird.
It's a very
surreal
Yeah, it's a
feeling,
very
yeah.
unusual thing. And I saw it and I looked at it. I mean, it was one of those things where like you're opening up your DNA and you're like, I was just something exotic, something somewhere, like a little flavor of something. You know what I mean? An interesting cheese. No.
It's all mild cheddar. my
Yeah,
friend.
it really.
I do think
mild
that that's
cheddar.
very. I'm sorry that I think that's so funny.
Oh,
but
it really
that
was.
is
I'm so
funny.
much more focused on the rest of this room than it. So my
But that
second.
was the big get from that was the ancestry
Sure,
part of it.
sure.
Like you always hope there's a a Persian prince or something. No.
Well, maybe there is.
No, there
Someday
wasn't.
your prince will come.
Yeah, if they are, they're adopted too.
Well, they may be. That's what I'm saying. It could happen that
in the
way.
musical, there can be
A
one.
musical.
Yeah, we're gonna spice this up.
All right, my other obsession has been this only because
I love it.
I see it every year. I forget about it, but it's timely because it is fall and it cracks me up. I posted it on Facebook earlier today, so if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen it. This, I just still love it.
What are you watching?
An
What
ad
is
for
that
pumpkin
stuff?
spice
What
coffee.
does it taste like?
Pumpkin.
But pumpkin doesn't taste like anything. It's like squishy nothing.
That's what they put on pumpkin.
What do they
to
put
make
on
it more
pumpkin?
interesting.
Spooky faces.
You know, cinnamon and nutmeg.
And spooky faces.
What did you just say?
Spooky faces. You carve
No,
them
no,
in
you-
something else.
Oh, okay. I guess There's
There's
pumpkin spice everything.
What a weird word.
Every year about around this time it happens.
Pumpkin. A pumpkin. Pumpkin.
Everything goes pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
And not just coffee. There's pumpkin spice. Everything.
You can smell it. You can really smell it.
Everything you could think of. Except guinea pig food. Wait a second. What are you doing? Are you sniffing the screen?
If you concentrate really hard, you can smell it.
I don't think that works.
Of course it works. Come on, let's just try it right now.
That
Come on.
doesn't
hit it.
work. I can't smell it. I don't smell anything.
Isn't this a smell-o-vision? Or is that something I just made up?
There's
I think
no
it was
such
in a
thing.
dream I had.
No more cheese
Yeah, it was
before
definitely
bed.
from
Your
a-
dreams are crazy.
That's
He says, "Oh my God, no more cheese. Your dreams are crazy."
Oh my god.
I have never
Never
seen
seen
that.
I shared it on Facebook years ago, and it comes up annually.
Yeah.
And I forget about it, but I've watched it 15 times today. I
That's
just
hysterical.
love that goddamn line. It just cracks me up every
A
time.
delight.
And it is
Or
pumpkin
is it
spice
just something
fucking
I made up?
everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything.
Everything.
Aaron brought over
Pizza,
dog treats.
sneakers,
Dog treats.
Pumpkin
as
spice.
hair
pumpkin spice.
products.
Yeah.
It all has pumpkin
Hair
spice.
products.
And if you
Everything.
listen, and I never noticed it before until I read a comment about it. If you ignore what they're saying in and you listen to the
There's
TV in
pumpkin
the back,
spice in the
all it
background.
says is, "Well, oh, pumpkin spice, pumpkin spice." That's all the track says is pumpkin spice. It cracks me up, but I laugh at it. I just think it's very, very funny. Every single
is a
time
good
I do,
time.
it's
agree.
good time. Oh,
That's good stuff.
we are way over time, but here we go. It is time to tell you about our headline segment coming up. Well, about now. So here comes some headlines right here on Q Talk America. Get excited, won't you? Oh, a judge says no touchy.
Fart your troubles away.
There's a cool story.
The real Bowling Green Massacre.
Oh my gosh.
The Simpsons, they're only trying to help.
Talk slower.
This bitch.
Bye bye, Betsy.
Oh, ooh. Kenya bans a show over a gay character.
These and more exciting stories coming up right after our break. It's our end of hour one, the beginning of hour two. It goes like this. It's Q Talk America. Stick with us, won't you? It's a good time.
You're listening to Q Talk America. is the Q Talk America radio network.
Sometimes the pause button or the mute button doesn't always work. Hi, everybody. We're back. It's Q Talk America. Hour 2, which is really like not exactly hour 2. We're a little bit deeper into that. But Kat Carlson, Marnie Ryer, and Al Perkins all in studio with us on this Tuesday night. Thank you for joining us. It is election night. We're going to be getting up some election updates coming up here in just a little bit. Also, coming up in hour 3, Al's entertainment segment. Kat Carlson's got 2 things. We've always got something coming at you right here on Q Talk America. It's show 323. It's November 11th, 2017 for us. So thank you for riding along and joining us in the chat room like Harrison, Nero, Joe D, Anant, and Amina was in there earlier. I think Amina's gone. Doesn't matter. It's time for headlines on Q Talk. Well, a retired judge from California is under fire for allegedly making disgusting remarks about an HIV-positive murder suspect, the Desert Sun reports. Former Riverside County Superior Court Judge David B. Downing is accused of refusing to read any motions at all filed by Kaushal Nirula because the defendant is HIV positive, and the documents were delivered in envelopes that had been licked closed. Quote, Lord knows where his tongue has been, Downey purportedly said. The alleged remarks were made in back in 2012, during a break in the jury selection process. Nirula was on trial alongside a co-defendant named Daniel Garcia for a 2008 murder of a retired art dealer named Clifford Lambert. The courtroom mics were switched off at the time, but Garcia left his laptop on and was secretly recording what was going on, unbeknownst to anyone else in the courtroom. Well, upon being discovered, the recordings were confiscated and have been tightly sealed ever since, so it cannot be confirmed whether Downing actually made the remarks. However, official transcripts show he was later confronted about the remarks in court. He didn't deny making them, instead claiming that he was free to say, quote, whatever the hell he wanted.
Wow.
It says,
authority?
It is a, quote, it is a commentary regarding my health status and not reading my given motions because you are concerned about where my tongue has been are inappropriate, Your Honor, Nirula said, according to the transcripts. To which the judge replied, I don't care what you think. I can say what I want. The First Amendment protects me too. I can say what I want. Later, the transcripts show Garcia tried explaining to Downing that it was, quote, difficult to proceed in a trial, knowing that the judge had made fun of Nirula's HIV status and wouldn't consider his motions because of the envelopes that those motions came in. What do you
No pun intended.
This is what do you care about
Sorry.
what do you care what I said about Mr. Nirula? Downing interjected. Worry about yourself right now, he claimed. When Garcia said he was personally offended by the comments, Downing replied by asking, so what is your point? Nirula and Garcia were eventually found guilty of murder. They are now using Downing's alleged remarks to appeal their convictions. The DA's office has not yet decided how it will proceed, but spokesperson says the office may need to review the sealed recordings to ascertain what occurred and when. When asked for comment on the matter, Downing told the Desert Sun he barely remembered the trial or what he may or may not have said. Quoting him, who knows? I don't know what I said 5 years ago. He then added, off the top of my head, I don't think I said that stuff. He followed up by saying it was, quote, the fairest trial ever and then some.
Oh, yeah. How very Trump of him.
Downing retired in 13.
The most fair ever.
He retired back in 13, but he is on a list of judges who remain on a roster that occasionally fill vacancies on smaller cases when they're needed. Aaron from LA actually messaged us this story. And at first, I didn't read it at first. I only read it today. And then I initially thought, I don't want to read it because it was an older case. And then I realized, no, it's going on now because they're doing an appeal. And the whole thing was kind of tilted based on, you got a judge who's an asshole.
Right.
And he's making comments about you. I don't care what your status is. You're poor, you're black, you're white, you're whatever. You're sick, you're healthy. The judge didn't make comments like that.
And you're just outright refusing to look at evidence.
Right.
So how could you have possibly made a fair adjudication if you never looked at the evidence?
Right.
Well, and the idea of that position of authority.
Yeah.
And the balance of power.
I mean, if you want to be a total dick,
absurd.
put on some fucking gloves. Because you know what?
Right.
The officers of the court have gloves. If they have to handle somebody, they put on gloves.
That's exactly right. God, that's ridiculous.
You know, here on election day, that is a long-reaching consequence of our elections.
Yeah, because you vote
Like
for those
that,
judges.
right? You vote for them to stay. A lot of judges are appointed, and then you vote for them to stay or vote them, away. But yeah, so the more assholes that we elect to our government, the more asshole judges they're going to nominate and appoint.
Yeah,
and then it's
absolutely.
really hard to get them out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You absolutely you have to vote keep or ditch, but it's hard to vote them out.
But the difficult part is telling. Well, let me rephrase that.
Yep.
I won't go in and just vote for the judges. Like I won't,
Right.
because if I don't know about them,
Right. But
I-
then when you
I
leave it
can't-
blank, it's a vote for the affirmative, which sucks.
Right.
and the thing is that the reason I don't is because of Braun Pfeiffer. Like it's absolutely because of Braun, because Braun was the person who would go down. I love you, Braun. Would go down the ballot and only Democrat. Like I'm only going to put
Oh, sure.
Democrat, and my own opinion, I have an issue with that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So it to me was the same concept.
Because there's
here
assholes
with
that are
us.
Democrats
But
too.
the judges,
Absolutely.
I know it's not
the
often.
judges very often run as no party.
But there were I don't know their records as far as
Right,
voting.
right,
I don't
right,
know
right.
the kind of
So
stuff
you're not
they
going to
vote for.
Right. And that so people have got luckily.
Does that make sense? So it's not
yeah.
necessarily party.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
I put let's keep them
And it's people have gotten much better about, especially the last two elections. I've noticed when judges were on the ballot,
Mm-hmm.
people doing their research and sharing it on the social media.
Well, in the magic of the internet, it's gotten
Yes.
easier. You know,
Yeah, it's
people.
Absolutely.
There are like groups that you kind of align yourself with that you can go look and say, okay, well, how do these people feel?
Right.
You know, how does HRC feel about
Right.
these judges?
And
you
our
can-
local Gay Rag Echo often puts out an entire thing of here's your voting thing with
And that's
all of
been
it.
very
Yeah.
helpful because you
I
can't
agree.
go through
all of them.
on
It's hard to do,
on
yeah.
your own. Yeah, I mean you could, but it would take a lot of time.
that not a lot of people.
I
want to
still
spend.
I still will email Buddy if I don't know Buddy early because I know he's up the ass of all these people figuring out stuff. So I oftentimes will email him and ask him where do you stand. I'm not asking how I should vote. Where do you stand on this person?
Right.
And
And then I go ask somebody else because he voted no on pot because he doesn't like the way it smells.
Right. No, I wouldn't have needed to have asked him
certain
about
amount
that.
of free will.
I wouldn't have needed to have asked him about that. But I'm talking about like these judges and these little niche little offices
Oh,
that
right,
are
right,
there.
right.
He follows that stuff far more than I would. But no, pot thing, I let that go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got friends.
It's like one of
Let the people be high.
one of those things with social justice. Like you're, and it was three people that I know that are supposed to be all about socially,
Right.
don't put people in jail for meaningless crimes or against the prison industrial complex. They have all these high morals, and then they voted against legalization of marijuana.
That's kind of where it starts.
I'm like, that's
this
where it actually,
Yeah.
that's where the problem
begins.
sits, assholes.
Right.
And two of them were because of the way it smells.
Yeah.
That's like closing the
Yeah.
perfume counter at Macy's because you don't like Dracar Noir.
And the other person.
Listen,
who
now
should-
that's
yeah.
valid. Hang on a second, because
I don't think that's valid at all.
That shit has
Not
been stinking
valid.
up lesbian bars for 15 years
That's
now.
a really good point, especially with the cigarette smoke. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like the cigarette.
I do
and the
because I
Dracar
smoked and wore Dracar.
and wore it. That's right. That's right. I remember you saying that.
It's a lovely
That's
combo.
Funny. It really,
lovely
actually, with the
combo.
leather jacket, really, there was something about that at the time that was like, I don't know. This was. I digress.
I was
cat's
really
pajamas.
hot then. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, it was the thing.
Even
It
I
was-
had a leather jacket. I was
Yeah.
very fond of it.
I'm saying, yeah, I can't.
Oh,
leather bomber
speaking
jacket.
of stinking the place up,
Very good.
There it is.
our friend Kim Davis is back.
Oh, Hunt.
No shit. An attorney for Kim Davis confirmed that she will seek a second term and is filing for Kentucky's 2018 election cycle, which opens tomorrow.
She's an idiot.
Yeah. She loves her job and she loves the people,
Stop
Some
it.
of 'em.
Come
Said-
on. Well,
said Matt Staver, the founder of the Florida-based law firm, the Liberty Counsel.
Doesn't like hairdressers.
The Liberty Counsel, of course, is a I believe a hate group that is
Yeah.
represented.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That has represented Kim Davis in her legal troubles.
Right. Was that part of the Huckabee thing or no?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
How come he was with her?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
who got her out.
Matt from the Liberty Counsel goes on to say, "I'm sure the election will probably have more attention because of who she is,
Sure.
but she doesn't have any major concerns about it."
Oh my God.
Ugh.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't
perfect.
remember, Davis stopped issuing marriage licenses in 2015 after the U.S. Supreme Court decision that effectively legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. She She was the county clerk that decided to not issue any marriage licenses to gay couples. 5 couples sued her, and a judge ordered her to issue the licenses. She refused and then spent 5 days in jail, only to be released and do a victory dance with Mike motherfucking Huckabee.
And Eye of the Tiger
Eye of
playing,
the Tiger,
which immediately
yeah.
got a cease and desist order
From Survivor.
Survivor, who was like, no, bitch.
When she was released, she altered the marriage license form so that it would not include her name. The state's Democratic governor at the time agreed to recognize the licenses, and the state legislature then changed the law so clerks did not have to sign their name on the licenses. Interesting fun fact about Kim Davis, she was elected as a Democrat.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think
She
I
was
knew
elected
that.
as a Democrat,
I
but
know I
switched
didn't.
parties to become a Republican shortly after the controversy erupted.
I was just thinking what an aunt has up there. I wonder who will sit next to Kim Davis.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I
person?
love that Twitter account.
Oh my God, that
I
was
hope they come back.
fantastic.
And then my
yeah.
absolute favorite, and I can't wait till next year when the memes
Yeah.
come back
Yeah.
again, because all the things, Scully doesn't believe in UFOs, still does her fucking job.
Right.
You know what
all
I mean?
The,
Like,
all the
oh
Star
my
Wars
God.
fucking job.
Yeah.
All
So
the
good.
things.
And wasn't there also something about the Diet Dr. Pepper can that was in the
Mountain
picture?
Diet Mountain Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew.
Diet
Yeah,
Mountain Dew.
that's the guy that sat next to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sits next
Yeah.
to Kim
Kim
Davis.
Davis, yeah.
Is a
Oh.
Twitter account. Go find it because it's probably still hilarious.
Yeah.
Probably
Kind
still
of like the guy
hilarious.
that the person that answers Target's customer ads.
Yes.
Oh, funny.
The
I
fake-
love me some
That-
corporate Twitter lately.
that
They've
fake
got some funny
human.
people. Yeah, but so a year from tonight, put that on your
Put a pin in
must
that.
watch list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Sure, sure.
You think if we say it enough, Matto will like send us a cease and desist letter?
Ooh, that's hopeful.
It's
That'd be
attention.
very exciting.
It's
That
attention.
would be very exciting.
I'm still sending web traffic via the silent.com.
Are you?
Yeah, because it
Good.
still loops right to her, right
Oh,
to
good.
their
Oh,
website.
I love it. They're gonna love it.
Clayton, I am sending you a photo of
that's
a
exciting.
beautiful woman.
Oh, I'm sure. Can I do a little mini update right quick before
Please
this?
do.
If you all will recall, last week we had a very important story last week. Do you remember this little guy? Please give me a butthole.
Did he get a butthole?
Well, $495 more dollars
saw
was
that.
raised since last week. So they're now at $9,795. So I think it's very likely. I'm actually digging for some information to find out if the procedure has gone through, because I can't imagine another week sealed.
Oh my
So,
gosh, that poor
I'll-
kid.
God, he must have
I'm
shit
gonna-
coming out his ears.
Well, no, the story. Not, well,
No,
we don't
I've
know.
heard the
The-
story.
the urethra,
I
I
heard the story.
believe.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
that
I
was
heard
a-
the story.
Yeah, so I'm
That's
looking. I'm
terrifying,
looking
though.
for some updates on the
What a little cutie in the little bus
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
it was. Like the
yeah.
What was his name again?
Chewbacca.
Chuck Cluck.
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 That's right.
Chewbacca. I
Cluck.
think.
Cluck.
The assless chicken.
Sorry.
No holes barred.
Oh.
No holes open.
Next story.
Marnie, what are you sending me?
Well,
You sent.
I don't have anything.
You're not sending me.
I
anything?
I sent you a picture.
Oh, you did. Stand
Yep, I sent you to your.
by. Oh, I
just,
got it. I got
yeah.
it. Stand by.
She's
Hold.
really pretty. She's really pretty.
Pretty girl.
This is a
Where-
video you sent me.
No, should just be a
No, you sent me a video.
picture. Oh well.
Wait, of J.J. Smith?
No, I sent you that. Look in your
Look in your box.
No, stop. Your what are they called? Text messages.
Oh,
Sorry.
I can't
Yeah,
get
I went
that
to
here.
it
I have to fix
completely.
something else out.
Oh, I can send it to Facebook.
I need it in Messenger. That's
Yep,
how I get
okay.
it from. That's how I get it. That's how the technical goblins get it on the air.
like
The little
it.
messenger elves. They carry it through the
Yes.
internet.
All right, so we're gonna
Stop
do that.
crying. You look like Jeff Sessions crying about a black man voting.
Watching a black man vote.
Oh, for real. Oh, for
Oh,
real.
yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go to
don't need this
Mrs.
bit.
And then we're gonna do
Jernicky
this and the that.
and
and
the
then
that
do we
thing.
want to do an interim story?
No, here we go. I got it. I'm sending it.
Once she sends it, she can start the
So-
story, and I'll do pictures.
So here's the deal. Have you ever been addled in a saddle?
I don't know where the hell is.
Is I don't know. Is that a
Point to my saddle. I'll tell you if I've been addled
define addled? I'm pretty sure I know where the saddle is. Define addled.
there. So we
So,
have two
I'll
questions.
show you on.
Two things. So Donna Byrne.
Does it burn?
Burning saddle, yeah.
Donna
Blazing
Byrne.
Saddles. Are we playing word association? Is that
We
what we're
might
doing?
be. We might be. We
Are we
could.
playing celebrity game?
So there was a
Donna Summer.
DUI. A DUI that that this woman got. Picture that I sent Mr. McKee.
Like you do.
I'm getting it there because
For-
you still didn't send it to the right place, but we're getting it. We're getting it.
Oh, sorry.
You
That-
texted it to me that time. I still didn't get it. Go, just continue with the story.
Put it in Facebook. She was a little hammered,
She is lovely.
and she's super pretty.
As you sometimes do.
I'm supposing she lost her teeth on horseback, but so of all places, you're going to be shocked. Lakeland, Florida.
Ah.
A 53-year-old woman who looks real well past
She
53.
used to have highlights. Here's a picture.
There she is.
Now they're low lights, like they're below her ears.
Well,
That's
something.
the ombre effect.
Again,
right?
I think
Yeah,
that her,
that's what they call
her
it,
teeth
ombre.
flew out when she
Good
went
for
over
her.
the
That's
horseback.
expensive to get done.
That's mane and tail.
Yeah. A 53-year-old woman riding a horse.
That's 53.
Oh, I don't think it
God
She
is.
looks
damn.
good. She looks good.
Well, no.
No.
So she was riding a horse
Of course.
down a busy Florida highway.
Oh my God, I did hear of this story.
Because it's faster that way. Traffic, you know.
I have to, yeah, it's
But
a
was she
shortcut.
going? Was she going against traffic?
Well, she was galloping. She's been arrested and charged with drunk driving, you know. Polk County Sheriff's officials said in a new news release that someone called 911 about a woman who appeared confused and possibly dangerous.
I think the horse fell.
And
Yeah.
And then they talked about Donna Byrne. When deputies arrived, they found Donna Byrne riding her horse on the road.
Of course.
Like you do. Officers did a sobriety test, not on the horse, but on Donna. you
Of
know.
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And she gave breath samples that registered blood alcohol levels at 0.16, twice the legal limit.
Oh, Wilbur.
Well, Byrne is charged with a DUI and animal neglect for endangering and failing to provide proper protection for the horse. There
I
was
would think it
not
would be
safe
I think it'd
horse
be
I
riding.
really didn't think this was going to lead to prophylactics, but
I think it'd be an
Deputies took-
RUI or an RWI, I would think.
Yeah.
deputies
Can you
took
just
the
use a
horse
hefty bag when it's a horse? That's what I want to know.
to the Polk County Sheriff's Animal Livestock Facility, and then Donna was booked into the Polk County Jail, you know, and records indicated, well, no, they didn't. There was no attorney on record.
Oh.
Well,
But you know, the interesting thing is,
PETA was probably going to come in and defend her.
well, yes, that could happen. You know, let's just say that there was a time in my life that I had been afflicted with one of these.
thought
Not
you
on a
were
horse, not on a horse.
I thought you were going to say when you rode a horse.
No.
Okay.
And when you go through these classes that they have you take, not to learn to drink better, but more safely.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Sure.
Horseless.
And horseless, as it were. And they said that you could get a DUI because it's a moving object.
If you can get one on a lawnmower, it makes sense you can get one on a horse.
But see, we argued because that's motorized. Now, if you have a lawnmower and you have to blow into it to get that, you know, if you have to have the breathalyzer,
To mow
where are
your
you
yard.
going to put that on a horse? I'm just curious, is all I'm saying.
Right. Well,
What are you going to do? I think I'm uncomfortable if it's a male. You heard me.
Where's the part where we get addled, though? Like,
yeah.
She's addled in the saddle.
Now I know what addled means.
does it mean toothless?
But didn't she make a
Saddled
better?
in
I
the
mean, honestly,
saddle
didn't she make a better
again.
choice than driving?
Much.
Well, not on the highway.
No, but I mean, she's probably on the side. And we've all been
Yeah,
in
but
that.
we don't
We've
know
all
that.
been in that part of the country where the horses are just people are riding their horses around.
It's true. And Nero's correct. A
And
good
point
horse
one-
is going to take you home no matter how drunk you are.
And
Because they're going to run for the.
0.16.
You know.
We're not even at Diana Ross levels, and
Well,
she made it to a
quite
blockbuster.
frankly, the people still make sense at 0.16, or so
Yeah,
I
that's-
think.
Yeah, that's
We're conversing with a horse.
that's like 4 glasses of wine. I'm gonna blame Florida on this one.
I think she was slurring because she didn't have her teeth in.
Yeah,
I think that's
I don't know.
right.
I just,
What? Nero, also a good horse tastes good in sausage?
Oh,
No.
Nero.
It depends on where you're from.
No. No.
Well, perhaps.
I know why we're so freaked out about eating horses.
Yeah.
Look, I like the McRib as much as anybody else. But,
You're like 60% sure it's not horse, right?
oh no, I think part of it's yoga mat. From what I read, stuff that's in it is actually also material made it's in a yoga mat.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my.
I believe
Sure,
it.
no, 100% serious. That's no bullshit.
Oh, it's
But
terrible.
on the McRib Locator website, they're not coming here this season. I'm a little pissed, but I can go to Southern California and get my
There you
joy.
go. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. I
Or you
like
could
it.
just eat a yoga mat.
Well,
Avoid the middleman.
get to put a little barbecue sauce
Ooh,
on
I
it.
could put some sauce and
Yeah,
get a little.
yeah.
Maybe we'll have
And then
it.
have a shamrock shake.
No shamrocks were harmed.
Not at all.
In the
I was gonna say
making of this
hired.
yoga
Yeah,
mat.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, they weren't hired either.
How
So-
do you hire a yoga man?
Well, speaking of being hurt and assaulted, there was a real Bowling Green massacre
Oh,
finally.
shut
Really?
up.
Only one victim.
Gasp.
What was
Ugh.
it?
Now, there's
Earlier,
been two
now
updates
gasp.
to this story since this article that I
Has
pulled
anybody
up.
called Kellyanne Conway?
Oh, I think she was first on the line.
She's the one that was bowled
She
over.
felt
Yeah.
vindicated.
She was wearing
Oh.
green.
Republican Senator Rand Paul has 5
Oh.
rib fractures, including 3 displaced fractures and bruised lungs
Stop
after
it.
an assault in his home in, you guessed it, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
That I forgot that's where
A
that
senior
was.
advisor
Stop
told
it.
CNN.
Oh, no.
Displaced rib fractures can lead to life-threatening injuries such as pneumothorax, pneumothorax, pneumonia, internal bleeding. All those first words meant lung, assholes. Of course they did. Laceration of the internal organs and lung contusions. Said a guy who knew how to use the word pneumo.
That sounds
in a
like the
sentence.
title of a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
Lorexes and contusions and fusions and oh my.
Paul sustained what were initially reported as minor injuries after a neighbor allegedly assaulted him in his home on Friday. Kentucky State Troopers said the neighbor, Renee Albert Boucher, intentionally assaulted the senator. The motive for the alleged assault is unknown, but assaulting a member of Congress is a federal crime and could likely result in severe charges, including felony assault or assault of a member. That sounds wrong. Both Capitol Police...
Sounds like a porn.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I feel like I
assault
had
on my
that
member.
on DVD
Yeah.
at some
Is there a
point.
horse in that story too?
Yeah.
No, but you would think so.
Both Capitol Police and the FBI are investigating the incident. Boucher is currently facing 4th-degree assault charges locally, but those charges could be compounded with the federal charges. So police say that Boucher, 59, admitting going onto Paul's property and tackling him.
While he was mowing.
Yeah, he's an anesthesiologist and pain specialist. Of course, he probably, after he got off him, Paul was probably like, "Can you help me? Because I'm a fake doctor, but you seem to be a real one."
Right.
Because he's the one that made up his own like board to make him an ophthalmologist, or
Right. Oh.
is he just an optometrist? I can't remember.
I don't know.
The newspaper also reports he invented the ThermaVest, a cloth vest partially filled with rice and secured by Velcro straps. Its purpose is to relieve back pain by delivering heat straight to the affected areas. I guess by boiling rice on a human body.
That sounds lovely.
Brown or white?
Yeah.
Does it say?
Why you gotta make it about race?
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Paul spoke out about the assault Sunday morning, thanking those who sent messages of support. Kelly and I appreciate the overwhelming support after Friday's unfortunate event, he wrote on social media. Thank you for your thoughts and prayers. Paul's staff is unsure of when the senator will return to Washington. And it says this type of injury is caused by high velocity, severe force. It is not clear exactly how soon he will return to work. The pain is considerable, and there's really nothing you can do but rib fractures. You just have to kind of let
Just
them
have to
heal.
be still, right.
They can't put you in a cast. Now, the statement yesterday from Renee's lawyer was that it was not political in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Just mad at his
It was
grass.
He said it was something that most people would just consider trivial. So I thought, was that just some kind of a dance he was doing to get out of any federal charges?
Right.
And then somebody on MSNBC yesterday was like, what if he just dislikes him the way the rest of us dislike him?
I hadn't heard that one.
That's great.
And it was so funny.
I
Well,
love it.
I like how they were reading some statement and the word flora kept coming up in it, and he goes, "We're having a fight over flora. Well, have you had a fight over flora? You're like, we're bitching about a property line and where compost is. It's what this sounds like.
Yeah,
and he
it-
just had enough of his shit.
And then they did the whole map, like, of a crime scene. Like,
Oh, shut up.
so they showed, like, because they live on, their big estates
Big
that
lots,
they
yeah.
live on. So it was a long walk. So he probably worked himself into quite the lather as he walked that long distance
Just
to the
walking that
neighbor's house.
mom. When I get there, I'm gonna fuck him
And
up.
then-
I'm gonna tell him what. those hedges, those gotta go.
Paul Rand is practically Lilliputian in size.
Right.
So this guy just takes him down.
I would have paid money to
A
watch it.
dramatic reenactment of this might be delightful.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet the Daily Show could probably do that for us.
I'm with
That-
Harrison. Is there a GoFundMe? Because let's find that.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
actually
I'm with
against
it.
this kind of violence. As a future mine inspector,
I'd like to go on record
I'd
now
like to
and
go on
say,
record.
And apparently they've been neighbors for 17 years, and there's been a long history of squabbles between the two of them, from what
The
I'm
Hatfields
understanding.
and the McCoys.
yeah,
You
Over
but not even
Flora.
to that level of grandness. Like this is seriously just sounds like it's about.
But I wanna
if you
know-
let that hedge grow one more foot, I'm gonna seriously tackle your ass in your front fucking.
But if he's
lawn.
mowing the yard, I want to was it a riding mower? Was it a walking mower? I'd like to see,
yeah.
but
What-
I want
and
to
what
see
brand
how.
was it?
No. I just want to know how he attacked him. Did he just launch into him and take him off a riding mower?
Well,
I
I,
don't
mean,
know how
from
it has
the
a-
aerial photograph of the crime scene that
Yeah.
I was presented with on MSNBC and could not stop laughing.
Okay.
Like my coffee got spit out about 5 separate
you know I'm
times.
gonna
That's
go
lovely.
find it.
I couldn't watch it enough. I must have rewound it like 3 times. It had to be a rider mower because
It's
the
the size.
property was so big. Or it
Maybe
just
that's
wasn't
how
to
he gets
scale.
his cardio. You know?
Right, I don't know. I
All
don't know
right.
your business. But I was thinking to have that many fractures. I just don't. I mean, he is a little Lilliputian person. That part's true. He practically makes cookies and trees. But
Listen, Keebler.
so I don't know if the guy is just that much bigger than him because he looked like a healthy-sized human in the photos they were showing of him. Like next to normal adults, Renee looked like a normal-sized person.
Well, I see an aerial shot, but I don't think it's the one that you're talking about because it's not that funny. There's got to be another picture.
No, it's like one red line. Like kind
Oh no, I haven't seen it. Okay, I gotta look for that.
It's
Here's-
kind of like
here's
the
what I
parade
love.
route in Waiting for Guffman, where they're gonna
So-
start here and turn left.
I went and Googled this to try and find out what kind of mower he uses, and some poor asshole at the Detroit Free Press, which is part of the USA Today network,
Yeah, Gannett.
got the lovely privilege to write the article titled "Why Does Rand Paul Mow His Own Lawn?"
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, this is breaking news here, people.
Right.
He's a man of the
Unreal.
people.
He is a man of the people.
He's an asshole.
I think he should turn down the health care when he gets to the hospital.
Oh, that's a good point. You should do that. Oh my God, that is funny. I gotta find this map. I'm looking for. Oh, maybe if I go to MSNBC's website, I'll find it. But I want to find it.
Well, I think it was a riding mower, as alluded to in this article titled "Why Does Rand Paul Mow His Own Lawn?"
Why does he ride?
Well,
Yeah.
and that's what made me think that falling off of something more than just getting knocked down is what caused all that.
Right.
You know, those
Right.
fractures.
Because the tumble from a John Deere, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
that,
2.5
you're not
feet,
at
my
ground level
gosh.
fall then.
My gosh.
I'm looking for it. That's good stuff.
But it was seriously like a red line. Like you couldn't figure out how he got from one point to the other without this giant red line going down a road and making a left turn into the driveway. But it reminded me of the Waiting for Guffman parade map.
Yeah.
Where just one turn. And they're gonna put the garbage cans here and maybe get a sniper for up here in case there's any.
Good times.
You
Good
can always
times.
work in a Waiting for Guffman reference.
See, this kind of thing is why I don't mow my own grass.
Right, because you never know
Yeah.
when
'Cause
Rand
you never
Paul's
know,
neighbor's
right.
gonna come
Right.
charging up on you.
Sure.
Rather have my 12-year-old mow it.
Don't you just have gravel?
No one's gonna tackle a kid.
No, I have grass in the back.
Okay.
It's your business.
Wow. Party in the front.
Listen,
grass
it's
in the
coming
back.
back.
I gotta. Okay. I'll continue looking for this map after my. We're moving from one story about trying to heal pain to another story about more pain.
Grassy ass.
Oh.
The Simpsons unveiled a fantasy fun world inhabited by Homer Simpson in Sunday night's season premiere. But at the end of the episode, the animated comedy got serious about a dire real-world issue. A short tag showed all of the Springfield characters gathered together in support of hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico, with the Simpsons somberly and most definitively asking for help. Marge is actually holding up a Unido sign, while Homer, Bart, and Maggie join her in holding a Puerto Rican flag. Lisa is standing in front of it with a tear rolling down her eye. I will cut to said shot. There they are. There, of course, has been much criticism for the way the Trump administration responded to the humanitarian crisis in the U.S. Commonwealth. The mayor of San Juan, Carmen Yulín Cruz, made a public plea for federal aid and blasted the administration for the lack of response to Hurricane Maria, which has claimed 16 lives so far officially according to the story, we know it's going to go way, way higher. So The Simpsons tweeted out a still image of the scene from the episode, including the social handles of charities like UNICEF, Save the Children, and One America Appeal. Apparently, I did not see the episode, but apparently the end of the episode of The Simpsons was in Moe's Tavern, and Moe, the bartender, sets up he sees something on the news that affects him, and he sets up like a fundraiser and gets people involved somehow. Again, I haven't seen the actual scene or didn't listen to it. I saw it go on a monitor somewhere where they were talking about it in the news. But I'm like, the fucking Simpsons, which is an animated series, which takes a while to even produce, has already gotten on this and is asking for help, and we still have done minimal.
Right.
I mean, we're still
Because Trump gave himself a 10.
Of course.
And an A+.
And
Right.
paper towels.
And then the Secretary of the Interior gave the job to a 2-man operation
Right.
from his hometown.
Which I'd like to know.
No, that they turned that down.
They canceled it.
So, however, they still have 400 people there working under Whitefish. Like, they may have canceled the contract, but they're still the motherfuckers that are doing it, and they're still going to get paid for whatever work that they do while they dick around trying to find somebody else to come in and take over.
I'm still not understanding.
While people don't have water to drink.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to understand that story. And again, I haven't followed it. I'm sure I could find out more information. How did a 2-person company out of the middle of nowhere, out of a cabin, where what's his name?
Ryan Zinke.
Ryan Zinke's
the
son.
Secretary of the Interior.
Right, the son had worked as a summer job there one time. That's how this got done.
Mm-hmm.
Where did they come up with 400 fucking people? Did they just put out a Facebook post?
Subcontracts.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I get that part. Was it just a phone call and all of a sudden like we're going? I just don't know how two men in a cabin in the middle of nowhere all of a sudden just have 400 people and all this equipment, all this shit show up.
Because you call actual companies that have actual employees
Sure.
that have the resources to do that, and you give them a portion of the contract.
So what they need to do is keep those people and be like, look, we're going to award you and you and you contracts, and we're going to get Zinke or whoever whatever Whitefish, get it the hell out of there.
Yeah, it's
And
keep
keep the people that are really
It's a
working.
very weird story,
Yeah, it is a weird
and
story.
hopefully it's going to end in indictments.
And
a lot
I
of
see
things.
indictments,
a lot of
indictment,
things
indictment,
are.
indictments.
One of the things that Bush got in a lot of trouble for was after Hurricane Katrina ravaged that area, which can be an opportunity for people to find work.
Right.
Because
Sure.
rebuilding.
Because Houston has got to be a boom right now.
Yeah, the money in war is during the war and then the rebuilding after a war.
Right.
Same with a disaster. But the first thing that Bush did that people really didn't pay attention to was he got rid of the prevailing wage in the region and told people that if you were doing something for the rebuilding, you didn't have to pay people like the prevailing wage.
Prevailing wage is good work, though. I bet that would have pissed a lot of people off.
It did, and it got very little notice from the rest of the country because everybody was like, "Oh, they're rebuilding." Yeah, but you're not paying anybody. So
Right.
instead of giving people the jobs that they
Right.
need and a chance to like help build their community and make the money that they need to spend in their community, they just fuck them over.
They're
and it
just
left
scab
them-
laboring it.
and it left them with a lot of areas that were just never dealt with, never recovered because who wants that
Right.
job?
I'm not
Right,
going there
who's
for $5.
shoveling shit for $8 an hour?
Right.
Right.
When prevailing wage says you should earn 15.
Right. Or more, and then you weren't getting contractors. Reputable contractors were immediately underbid.
Sure.
So that's how this shit goes. Although it didn't get that, I kept waiting for that, for them to say that if you go take this contract, you could do it for like this much less money than you should make down there. But Puerto Rico's also dealing with bankruptcy, so they don't have the money to pay out. If we don't help bail them out and help them pay the bill right now,
Right.
they really are lost at sea. Like that's one of the things. So people are like, well, they're not going to make. When Trump is officially cutting them off and saying, you can't rely on us forever. Who's going to take the contract from a
Tesla.
floundering government? Yeah, right. So you're kind of left in
hopeful.
this. Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
it's just so shitty how he handled that, and just left them fucked 100 different ways by going on TV and saying you can't rely on us forever. Because he would never say that to Texas or to Florida. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because that's where the white people live.
Right. It's crazy.
Well, yeah.
Shitty. Katrina, waves, anything?
Oh,
Walking on
is it
sunshine.
my turn? I lost where we were in the
Yeah.
in the rotation.
It's you.
Him, now me, now you.
All right. Well, you may have seen this photo. It's President Trump's motorcade winding down a wooded road, and a woman on a bicycle pedals by and decides to give the motorcade the finger. It went through everybody's social media.
Fantastic.
The picture was snapped by a White House photographer who was traveling with the president as he left his golf course in Sterling, Virginia, and it went viral almost immediately. News outlets picked up the story, and late night talk show hosts, of course, told jokes about the encounter, and they even, social media began hailing her as a shero, using the hashtag #her2020.
Oh my God, that's
Cute,
fantastic!
right?
I didn't see that. Yeah,
Cute.
yeah.
However, her employer, who is a government contractor, surprise, surprise, wasn't super happy. Now, she was really forthcoming. Like, she realized that it was going viral and it was going to be a big deal. So she went and talked to her HR department and said, well, here's the thing. There was this incident and I did this thing and whatever. So she's just trying to be on the up and up. She was then called to a meeting and told that she violated the social media policy by using the photo as her profile picture, because who wouldn't? Like,
yeah, exactly.
If one of my if a picture of me
flipping off the president,
not even flipping off the president, like whatever goofy picture of me is on like the Tonight Show and Jimmy Kimmel and everything, that motherfucker is my profile picture for at least a week.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then it'll be my cover photo for a
Right.
very long
Right,
time.
right.
Yep.
Right.
I don't know how long eternity is, but I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, they said we're separating from you. Basically, you cannot have lewd or obscene things in your social media. So they were calling flipping him off an obscene gesture.
Oh.
When she left that office, all they saw was that.
Yeah.
Fuck off, bitches!
I salute you.
Fantastic.
But what a way to go.
Well, where's your GoFundMe
Real
campaign?
American hero.
Yeah, what's in her HR file? Fired because she flipped off the
And
dumpster fire.
For those of you nerds that follow like the hand gestures that you're supposed to make when riding your bicycle on a road,
Ah, very good.
remember, left turn, right turn, stop,
Right.
president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Glad they've added that
Good
one.
hand
nice.
modeling.
That is nice.
Hand-arm
I've
modeling.
aspired to be a hand
Yeah,
model my whole
there
life.
you go.
You did
This
that
one is
well.
also, if you can write with no
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah.
you can do that.
That's
one.
that's challenging to do because that breaks your balance.
Yeah, I
and
understand, but still,
Sure.
professionals. Marnie?
Well, someone else that we'd like to flip off is
people.
Betsy DeVos.
Is she fucking gone yet?
Bye-bye, Betsy. I do appreciate this. I was so happy. Officials expect DeVos to resign from the Trump administration. She's reportedly frustrated by her lack of influence. For
Now,
what?
is this-
Who are you going to
Is
influence?
this from Salon.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I just want to see if there was other people reporting it too.
Oh, got it. There were a couple of. This one is the only one I saved, but I feel like there were a couple
okay.
of places. I can look into that after I get done with this one.
I'm just hoping for more confirmation, like other sources,
Right.
because most of the leaks that come out of the White House are true as true can be. So
HuffPost is also saying it, and
Thank you. Yeah, I
Patch.com
thought so.
is already posting it too.
oh, good.
Politico as well.
Ding dong. The
Oh,
witch
my
is
bad.
dead. Which witch? The wicked
Gross.
witch.
You're bad. What?
It wasn't Politico, different story.
Okay.
About the same dumbass, but not the same topic.
Fuck her.
Well, it's been quite shaky leadership, if we can even say that. It was hard for me to utilize. You can't put that together.
Yeah, exactly.
These two things are, it's not right. It's just not right. And she is just a dumb cunt. And
That's being kind.
I really was. I thought so as well. Thank you. Because sometimes I feel like maybe I'm being a bit much about that.
But she is smart enough to I don't believe an indictment is going to touch her at all. She's
I don't
just
think so.
dumb.
She
and
really
she's just a
is.
rich bitch.
I mean, unless
But,
it comes to via the brother.
The brother. Right.
Oh, that's right. Because that okay.
Because he's the Blackwater of
Right.
yeah.
today.
So she's ignorant to the job's constraints and was when she accepted, and insiders are already prepping for her to vacate the position. She can't fill her senior staff slots. Morale is terrible at the department. I can't imagine.
Somebody said that somebody in a Capitol Hill interview last week said she is the most hated cabinet secretary of all time.
Well, because you don't normally know who the cabinet secretaries are.
Right.
Right. It's super unusual that we can sit here and
Name them, right.
More than one,
More
even.
than one.
Yeah,
More than
and
one.
That
You know
really
what I
is
mean?
because usually it's the attorney general,
Right.
You're familiar with that one. The Secretary of State, sometimes the Treasury, depending on how things are
I have
going.
on
to
how
tell you,
money's
you want to
going,
go
right.
back in presidents and start like let's name people.
You don't know most of them.
No,
yeah,
no,
like
no.
you said, most of the time it's Secretary
Yeah,
of
you
State
usually
and
know
Attorney
who your
General.
Secretary of State is. The Attorney General comes up quite a bit.
Right.
If
But
there's
to
been
know,
a health crisis, maybe the Surgeon General.
yeah. Or he suggested condoms or masturbation and
Right.
got fired, so you know who he is
Or I
after the
can at
scandal.
least describe
But
how to,
this
to
one
draw
since
him.
from the very first day. So they
Even
was it
before the first
MSNBC?
day.
Even before, yeah.
I think it's MSNBC because I've been watching that the most lately. Like they're like there are constituents coming up to me that don't even want to talk about Trump. They just go right to her name.
Right to the. Oh,
Yes.
I read that.
Yeah, so maybe it was something I read, but it was a funny article about like just the most
Yeah.
hated woman.
It was like a senator or somebody that like nobody wanted to talk about the president. Everybody wanted to talk about Betsy fucking DeVos.
Yeah, because how can he's a moron enough to be an embarrassment for like the lack of knowledge, just basic knowledge that one should have when they become or to become president. But then you have this dumbass.
Yeah, no public school history. Her children aren't in public school. Never did it. Never wanted anything to do it. Spends all her time trying to tear down the public school system.
Absolutely.
Like
And
she's-
couldn't alienate more people. And so she was roundly criticized
And what
for her.
was it? Because of bear attacks?
Grizzly bears.
Grizzly bears in schools or why the kids
one
needed guns.
one doubts most nominees for education secretary need to be coached not to cite grizzly bears as a reason for guns in schools, because that's her thing. She's blaming Trump, apparently the transition team, for claiming that she was undercoached for how to do this.
And now is she? Who was the one that
Undercoached.
Who was the one that Pence
Or
had
you
to
could
vote on
read
the
a book.
tiebreaker? Was it Jeff
You have
Sessions?
to be
Yeah.
able to read.
I believe it was Sessions.
Because one of the cabinet secretaries only got in because of Pence doing the tie-breaking vote. Was it her or was it
I
Sessions?
thought it was Sessions.
Like you went through that much work, you used that much political capital that
He had to do a tiebreaker.
I think it is Sessions because it was a bigger deal than DeVos.
then she only got passed by one.
by like a
So that's when they go back to their constituents,
maybe I'm wrong, but I
healthcare
don't
comes up
think so.
second, but the first thing is like,
her.
where'd you get this cunt from?
Well, and my favorite thing, and if we to just get clips of him would be Al Franken, because him with every
Anybody.
one
Smart,
of them,
yeah.
he is so smart, and with each and every one of them, just kind of like, really, okay.
And he was on Bill Maher a couple weeks ago, and Bill Maher was like, "Oh, thank God you're funny again." He's like, "Well, the first time, through the election process, my first time running for Senate,
right.
I had to be very serious. I didn't want to be a joke candidate or for anyone to not take me seriously."
It was DeVos that he cast the nominating vote in.
Oh, it was DeVos.
It was.
So I mean,
Okay.
they wasted political clout on the education
her.
secretary. How much money does this person owe you that you wasted the almost
Yeah.
never used vice president? Like the vice president used something that
But
almost
what,
never
because
gets
she
used.
was before Sessions.
But it was like his first week in office.
No, I know. That's what I mean. It was kind of like this person needs to go through.
Yeah.
Like we need this because he had already not.
I think Mike Flynn had just been given a boot.
Sure.
So
sure.
So anyway, what's his butt got to be is funny again. So if you
Yeah.
see him now, he's back to being Al Franken. Is
Oh,
back
Al
to being
Franken.
funny.
Well, and if you, I listened to his book. I did the audiobook, and he talks about that, like how people were like, you got to be funny. And he was like, but this isn't funny.
yeah,
Like it can't be
But
funny.
but cycling back to that, what's making the point more than anybody being serious about it is all the late night comedians being funny and
Right.
driving points home. So fortunately, the timing is good with this. He's been in long enough that he's taken seriously. He can be funny again and make those points.
Because Seth Meyers actually is one of the funnier,
Yeah.
kind of on point.
Yeah.
Very on point people. This goes on to talk about in Washington education circles, the conversation is already about the post-DeVos landscape, because the assumption is that she won't be there much longer. I think she's probably one
Right.
of the most ineffective people to ever hold the job. Do you think? This person, the assessment might be somewhat harsh, but how do you not? I mean, you can't.
Here's
You
someone,
can't really
here's
be
someone
nice.
who knows nothing about public education, never
Right.
experienced public education, and makes money off of the opposite of public education.
Yes.
Yes,
How
of
could
course
she
she's gonna
not
leave her
be
vouchers and
ineffective?
stuff
Well,
like
Right.
that,
and if
yeah.
there's one thing that she's probably learned so far, it's that getting your way in Washington requires time, patience, and government savvy. 3 things she doesn't
She
have.
doesn't have, yeah.
At all.
And a willingness to compromise.
You need, you need a little finesse. You need a little empathy.
Right. Which none of
So
them,
many
I
of these
would say
fucking
that
people.
none of them.
So the correct
Have
use of
that- have
irony
empathy.
would be that Trump wrote The Art of the Deal.
Right.
A man who
funny,
can't
yeah,
compromise
yeah.
or make a deal on anything,
Anything,
Right.
yeah.
thinks he's an artist
Thinks
of
he
the
wrote
deal.
that.
Talks
There-
big when he's in the States, but when he's 150 miles from the DMZ in South Korea, very quiet, very calm. We're not going to ruffle any feathers.
Sure,
do it
sure.
I
peacefully.
need to write a
Yes,
letter
love
to
it.
Alanis
So what
Morissette.
was your?
Right.
Oh, my aside, it was just going to be about vice presidents and the tiebreakers and the trends. So, as it turns out, Pence is on track to average about 8 tie-breaking votes per year if he continues at the pace that he was going in an old article from like July.
Okay.
So if he continued on track as he had been, because he was already on deck to make his 4th tie-breaking vote it was on a procedural something having to do with the healthcare debacle. In any event, that would top the current record of Chester Arthur, who averaged 5.5 votes per year.
The fuck was Chester Arthur?
He was the vice president for Rutherford B. Hayes.
I believe
Well,
you may
you
be
were
right.
alive then. I don't know.
Oh, wasn't that your first vote?
About statistically,
That's
about
ridiculous if you know
2/3 of our vice presidents throughout history have cast 1 vote or fewer
Yeah.
during their time in office.
It's a very rare thing, and to waste that
Yeah.
political capital and to concede that power on like minute 1, and it was one of those things where you're like, okay, I follow this shit, and that's fucking.
And I really don't.
Weird.
I really don't think that our parties have been as far apart and as polarized probably since the Civil War. You know what I mean? Like there are definite lines and there are definite heels dug in the sand. You're either on our team or their team.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And everybody, you know what I mean? Our Congress seems to be voting increasingly party line. You know what I mean? Down
And
that
nobody's
middle.
reaching across.
And
to
nobody
make
nobody cares
Right.
that somebody might just be really fucking shitty. Like they don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
No. They've got an R next to their name. I don't care if
Yes.
you're shitty. You got a
Yeah.
D next to
Now,
your
I
name.
don't even know who
I
that
don't care if
person
you're
is,
shitty.
but
yeah.
but
You know,
I
in
like
the-
them.
Like what's his face from Jersey, the Democrat from New Jersey, who may not leave the Senate.
Oh,
It's
Help
not
me.
Mendoza. Democrat from New Jersey, corruption scandal.
Oh yeah.
May not leave.
oh, I don't know. I'm not.
They're
sure
proud,
who this is.
probably a little bit more confident today with the way the results went in the gubernatorial race.
Right,
But
right.
I mean, seriously, Robert
Okay.
Mendez,
Okay.
because he's not obligated to leave, and so he might not.
So maybe not. Sure.
Because if the pussy grabber can stay,
Why can't I?
Then everyone else
Sure.
can. Sure.
Well, and that's the problem.
So, speaking of
Yeah.
grabbing the wrong pussy.
No.
So, Kenyan authorities have banned the Disney Channel's Andy Mack because of the program's upcoming gay
I saw
storyline,
this.
part of
Oh.
an ongoing crackdown in the African country on LGBT content. The decision by the Kenya Film Classification Board underscores the challenge for creators of LGBT content on a continent where local mores and criminal codes don't always align with progressive values. The board announced the ban Monday, just days after it was revealed that the show's second season would feature a key character realizing he's gay. Ezekiel Matua, CEO of the ratings board, issued a statement declaring that pay TV and free-to-air stations were prohibited from airing content that is likely to influence children's perceptions negatively on the institution of family. Citing public complaints, Matua said in a Facebook post that the board has a duty to protect children from exposure to harmful film and broadcast content. The post added, gay content will not air in Kenya, period. Following the remarks, South African entertainment company MultiChoice issued a statement saying the series is not scheduled to air on any of the Disney channels on DSTV or GoTV, the company's satellite and DTT platforms. It was not clear whether the decision was made in response to the film's board's ruling or it had been made before in light of MultiChoice's previous run-ins with Kenyan censors. So one of the problems is they all go from one channel. Distributions typically have one broadcast feed for the entire continent. So if one country says no, they all have to kind of all fall in line. So these they're kind of making a decision for the entire continent, and you're picking a fight with Walt Disney. But then again, Walt Disney, you know, once Disney died, they're all about diversity and trying to apologize for that character. And
Right.
What's the awful character? Is it Jungle Book? What's the one that you just can't? Oh no, it's Peter Pan. That you're like, oh my god. Like the Native American
Friar
storyline.
Tuck?
No,
Yeah,
the
no,
Peter
no,
Pan, the
the-
Native American angle, and Peter Pan
Indians, yeah.
is
I've never seen it.
just
Okay.
offensive to, like, you're like, who greenlit this shit?
Got it.
I'm gonna have to Peter Pan.
Oh, and speaking of greenlighting something, with all the bad commercials that just start off with the right message and go completely wrong, the one that McDonald's does about the kid getting accepted into college with the McDonald's scholarships is so spot on the nose, perfect. I tear up almost every time at, like,
Have I seen it?
because McDonald's they don't have to do commercials about their food
You
anymore.
probably have.
Where they take a second to open up the
Oh,
envelope to
I
find out
have,
if they
and
get
I love
accepted.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Walks
Okay.
into his manager and he stops the crew and they
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
around.
every
Yeah.
2 seconds. It's so well done.
Sure.
And like I said, like you just all these companies do now. Like Walmart doesn't have to advertise that they're Walmart. They just have to convince you they're not the worst people on earth.
You bet.
Which they are. So that's their
Tugging your
only thing. Yeah,
heartstrings
that's
a
the
little
only
and-
thing they have to do is show you we have some compassion and
Sure.
soul, as well as knocking out every small business in your community,
Yeah.
and making everyone come work for $12 an hour
You soulless fuck.
and take away your health care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that these companies, that's their thing, and that's McDonald's only message now. They're not going to sell you. You either know who they are and you're going to buy it, or you're not. There's nobody that will come and say, McDonald's, I'm curious, what do they sell? You know what I mean? That person doesn't exist. So
Right.
the commercials for McDonald's are about, don't hate us because that's not meat.
But sometimes, man,
It's a
that
yoga
quarter
mat.
pounder
Yeah.
is just fucking
That deluxe
delicious.
quarter pounder is fantastic, and I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah,
neat.
you know what? I'm gonna agree with you on that.
Every once in a while, I'll be driving
yeah.
by and I can't help myself.
I
And all of
gotta
a sudden, there's a 5,000 calorie meal in front of me because it's not even
Right.
just a quarter pounder. No, it's a double quarter pounder,
Yep.
clearly with
And
cheese.
you have to-
Yeah.
Then it's a large
Supersize
fry.
it.
And
Speak,
then
girl,
if
speak.
I'm going to all of that, I might as well fucking have a chocolate shake.
Sure.
Done.
Chocolate strawberry,
Done. Now I've got all my
absolutely.
calories for the week at one
Right,
time.
right.
See, mine is without the accoutrement, the Whataburger double burger
Lovely.
with queso.
Oh.
I want to love Whataburger, but I can't. I mean, it's okay here and there, but I don't. I love a Burger King burger more.
Yeah, but you
And
can't
s-
find a Burger King.
It's hard to find them, I still like a Wendy's burger better. I just don't like Wendy's fries.
Oh,
And the
the,
inconvenience of getting in and out of the closest one drives me crazy.
and the Wendy's has that like double cheeseburger that's on the dollar menu
Oh, that I didn't realize.
for the thrifty girl.
wasn't-
Yeah.
I'm just
For
telling
the
you.
hefty girl, it's not on that one, so I'll tell you that.
Let me tell you though, if I'm going to Wendy's, I'm just there for the Frosty. I don't even know if they sell
Sure.
other things.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh.
If I
Yeah.
darken a Wendy's door,
It's frosty.
Mama's
yeah.
here for a Frosty,
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
because that's just a
Completely.
treat.
Completely agree.
What's next?
Well, it's gonna be where did I do it? Oh, it's right here. I think we're ready to go with Al and his little the tease from Al Perkins.
Oh, it gets me every time.
Kevin Spacey's just up to no good, and they've kind of left him, and the Netflix has kind of hung him out to dry. I have 2 movie reviews for you. My obsession that I forgot about that came from someone in the chat room, and I feel it was Anant. A musical selection for you to enjoy, and then I feel like there's something else that I have on the headline that I don't know what it is. Ta-da!
I like it.
Oh, there's that. Al Perkins. Oh, I completely missed our outro. Doesn't matter. We'll be back right after this. It's Q Talk America.
Lovely.
Okay.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
All right, boys and girls, we're back. It's hour 3.5. I'm not sure where we are. We're running a little late, but it doesn't really matter. Why? Because we're with you, you're with us, and together we make yes. Very bad joke. Not even good. Not even funny. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Studio C
Did
is
you
where.
workshop that when you're in your car?
Fuck you and your attitudes.
Is that going in the stand-up routine?
I don't know yet. I haven't workshopped it in it. It is Studio
Maybe
C.
add a different word.
It's the show on Q Talk America. Kat Carlson is here, along with Marty Ryer, Al Perkins. I'm Clayton McKee. Everybody is in the chat room just chitty-chatting, mostly amongst themselves, because they've lost all interest in anything we're talking about, which is normal.
They were talking about how to get
I've
help to
lost
Puerto
But I
Rico.
think I know how we're going to bring him
people.
back. Ladies and gentlemen, hour 3 kicks off with the lovely, the talented, the often misunderstood Al Perkins in entertainment.
Terribly misunderstood.
So the blowback from Kevin Spacey is just doesn't seem to be ending because, like I said last week, like why was this whole thing about does the crew feel safe about something that happened at a party in his home 30 years ago?
Okay.
Well, it turns out there was one big indiscretion at the beginning of the filming of House of Cards where he groped a driver or an assistant and they paid him off. There was some kind of restitution made. Netflix kept the guy on. The guy said he felt fine, and then he gave Kevin Spacey another ride. So first he was
Come on,
horribly
ride the
offended.
train.
Right.
Yeah. But then later the same day, after he made the big deal about it and everything was forgiven, he gave him a ride again.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so
Well, there you have it.
very strange. But
Spin the wheel.
now more than a dozen men who say he sexually harassed, groped, assaulted, or attempted to rape them in episodes going back decades. The fallout has been swift for the actor, with Netflix dumping him from his starring role on House of Cards. If House of Cards stops productions, and it was going to end this year anyways, but that's filmed in Baltimore, and John Oliver did a big thing this week about kickbacks for filming in your state,
Sure.
and that if your state decides that they're not making enough money on them and they lessen the kickbacks, they'll just move to another state that looks just like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
if Georgia stops giving out the money, then all of a sudden,
Louisiana or any other state that's
The
done.
Walking Dead's going to go up to Virginia, where the show supposedly
Oh.
is set now. They left Georgia a couple of years ago, and they're in Virginia. So all these things could happen. Well, they're talking about the loss of revenue and how many people are employed. Like, it employs 20,000 people, according to this thing that I read. Like, how many people will be out of work? Well, they're going to be out of work soon anyways because the show is leaving. But now Netflix is saying that it will pay the crew for the remainder of the episodes.
Or even if they don't film them?
What do they call that? Pay or play?
No.
So, let's say, I wrote a movie for Kat, and she said...
What a great movie.
I'm
Yeah,
sure it is.
that she'll...
I bet it would be shit.
she'll
Oddly
do
about
it, but
dogs.
The $3 million that she would get paid is pay or play.
The Mine Inspector.
Right,
the musical.
the musical. So whether the movie gets made or not, you get
Jazz
paid.
Mines.
So it's one of those
Mines.
Jazz Mines.
That's her name.
It's one of those
Jazz Mines.
What's in your hole? That's what it's going to be called.
Oh,
Oh no.
TNT.
The Pith Helmet song is what we're all going to be waiting
Oh.
for.
Oh, stop.
So one of the things was there's an upcoming Carol Burnett special that he has been out of, and it has the 50th anniversary of the Carol Burnett show. In October, Spacey had recorded a musical number with Burnett, Kristen Chenoweth, and Bernadette Peters for the TV event, which airs December 3rd, and he's now cut out of that. So is it a trio or is the whole song
Oh,
gone?
that sucks. Or they bring somebody else in and film around them and CG
Yeah,
them in.
It'll just be an invisible person. So when a new BuzzFeed report published Monday alleges that Spacey had a reputation for sexual misconduct on the House of Cards set via interviews with several unnamed crew members who claimed that the show's higher-ups were aware of his behavior. And Netflix did say they knew about the first one, and they thought they had handled it to everyone's satisfaction because the guy who made the allegation drove him again later that same day. Like, it was one of those things where it wasn't like they waited time. This guy said, he just grabbed me while I was driving him. I'm not comfortable being around this fucker. They did some kind of immediate remediation, and everybody seemed to part grown-ups, and Netflix was under the impression that
It
well,
was
that's over. Like
right.
that was okay.
Right.
He misbehaved. He
happened.
apologized. This guy seems to have accepted the apology, not knowing that it was going on elsewhere. So, according to BuzzFeed, a crew member said they knew about his behavior towards younger men specifically on set. They were all watching, and they see behavior on camera and off camera that was uncomfortable and unprofessional for a set, to be honest. So that was why that whole thing last week didn't make any sense. Like, why were they halting the production and making sure that they all felt safe?
Right.
So you knew there was something
'Cause there
else
was a thing.
besides 30 years ago. It's because Netflix knew, okay, he was accused of this once, and we did think we handled it, and this is stirring up. So
Right.
he's off there, and there was another movie that I think was about Gore Vidal that Netflix had produced that they're, like, hands off. And, there was an unrelated topic. Harvey, not related, but different person. Harvey Weinstein, known for all of his, like,
Steen.
Oscar Weinstein. What do I keep saying? Stein?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only because I know like I grew up with the
Weinsteins.
Weinsteins, so it sticks in my head like, no, I can't
Weinsteins.
that association. Stein.
Yeah.
Right. Don't malign her people.
Yeah,
Come on
don't
now.
don't malign my Jews.
What am I saying? Am I saying Weinstein?
Yeah,
You
you're
said
saying
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
It's Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
Weinstein. Okay.
And you're saying Weinstein.
Yeah.
It's because Irv Weinstein was like the main anchor on the Buffalo News, and I just had his, like, so that's how
Sure.
I hear it pronounced.
Sure.
Well, anyways, there was a really, really, really good movie out that now I just forgot the fucking name of. Oh, motherfucker.
Wow.
But he is
That escalated quickly.
He's off of the, because I didn't write it down because I thought I would never forget it because I love the movie so much.
Who's sorry now?
Jeremy. Oh, fuck
Jordan.
me. Nope. Jeremy.
Piven.
Nope. Don't like him.
Muhammad Gandhi.
Jackson.
Is it a jackal? Is it a jackal? Is it a jackal?
Pterodactyl.
It's Elizabeth Olsen, and it was the big movie from this summer. Anyways, so
Jeremy London.
No,
I have no idea if
I
that's
know,
a
and I
person.
can't. The guy from Arrival.
London Bridge.
The guy from Arrival.
Renner.
Bridges
Jeremy
over
Renner.
Madison
Jeremy
County.
Renner and Elizabeth Olsen.
It's on the tip of my
I'm a
tongue.
winner. I'm a winner.
I had Jeremy Renner also.
And
I
I
was
think, of
thinking
course, I picked
I
Elizabeth
don't
Olsen
No.
too. Actress. Here we go. Oh God, turns out, poor thing, turns out there's like a million Elizabeth Olsens.
No, it's a
Popular?
Fucking A. We gotta go with Jeremy Renner.
Which Elizabeth Olsen are you looking for?
The one that's the actress, the Olsen twins'
oldest.
sister.
Yeah. Okay.
Older?
What,
What
what
do
are
you-
we, what are we
doesn't have
looking
an
up
eating
here,
problem?
friend?
The movie that she was just in this summer.
Got it.
Anyways, so this movie, big critical hit, made some money, good times, really, really well done. Wind River. I wanted to say Moon River. So Wind River, fantastic movie.
River.
Exactly. But this is called Wind River.
I see.
Let's try it
yeah.
again.
So Harvey,
Wind River.
it was pretty much assumed
Stein.
as this moment. I just
Dean.
said, we're just going to go with Harvey.
Gotta Harvey your way through this.
Yep. Miramax founder Harvey. We'll go that way with his parents'
Very nice,
name.
yeah.
It was just assumed that he was going to campaign and probably get Elizabeth Olsen an Oscar. Well, now they were left high and dry on Wind River because they don't have the force that is Harvey running the Oscar campaign, and he has been like successfully winning Oscars for like people for 20 years. So a whole new company. So there, it really was kind of lingering out there of like, all right, he's got a dog in the race. What are they going to do about Oscar time while getting disassociated with him? So I thought that was kind of weird that it's actually affected his Oscar campaigning now. Like,
What do you think is going to happen? Obviously, February, right? February is Oscar season.
Mm-hmm.
When does it hit? When do we get?
Well, it's starting because it'll be
it's
the
starting.
Oscars in.
Yeah, like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Though the award shows start in 30 days. Like usually December 1st is the first. Is the National Board of Review will come out. Toronto International Film Festival was 2 months
So
ago.
what do you think is going to happen come?
Well, now it's a whole different way of campaigning because you're missing the main person that's been doing the campaigning and changed the Oscar race since.
Right. So what do you think is going to happen? How do you think this is going to shake out?
No one knows. We don't know how. No one remembers how they worked before he
Oh,
took it
okay.
over. Like, so, like, we're all everyone's in this void of like, who's gonna host this and shove these movies down people's throats, which is probably a bad choice of words. But
Awkward for everyone
Well,
now.
he just masturbated.
Not in a lie.
yeah, and raped, and a couple of rape charges.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
You get him
true.
one McRib though, everything's clear.
4 or 5 rape charges. So I thought that was an interesting fallout, that there's people that depend on him to do these Oscar campaigns, even though everyone has said he's a bully in the Oscar race. No one appreciated. He turned it into an ungentlemanly sport.
Right.
But at the same time, everybody was like, "But I really want that Oscar."
But I want the statue on my mantle.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because Tarantino's got 2 of them, so there's that. So I told you about that. And then author Gay Talese told Anthony Rapp that he should suck it up since it happened 30 years ago.
He already did.
But he didn't. There was no
Oh, I'm
actual
sorry.
sex though.
Was that
and
wrong?
that's
My bad. Too soon.
Too soon.
the
Wasn't
growth
ready
It
for
was
this.
30 years ago.
I honestly
Right.
wasn't ready for that, but okay.
That was a lot. I know.
Honestly, there's a difference between
It was a lot.
groping people at work and being a pedophile. And
Yeah,
it
I agree.
really
You're
is
right,
a
you're right.
dangerous distinction
Yeah.
to cast him in that way. You've got some groping problems. You got some problems treating people lesser than you. That's one thing, but like that other thing is way
Like specifically targeting and abusing children is a different.
Yeah,
is a different
absolutely.
animal,
I agree.
and yeah,
Absolutely.
casting him in that light's really not fair. So falsettos, find it on pbs.org, wherever you find your PBS falsettos.
Bring your tissues.
From the 90s, beautiful music, beautifully sung. I don't know for how long they'll have it, but it seems like they leave their stuff up streaming for a good long
PBS.
time.
Oh yeah, they do.
Doesn't seem like they're in any great hurry to clear those pages, but Falsettos is on pbs.org on the streaming, uninterrupted, minus the Audra McDonald hosting, which I was
I
kind of
didn't
sad.
get that pleasure.
Yeah, and I didn't either because I watched it on the streaming.
Oh.
But when I watched the South Pacific on PBS and I saw it live, Alan Alda was your host for the evening.
Oh, lovely.
And had wonderful little
I do enjoy the tidbits from time to time.
yeah, little tidbits and just stories about him seeing this when he was a child and being so moved by the score and how beautiful it was to see back at Lincoln Center. And PBS works in very close conjunction with
Lincoln Center.
Lincoln Center.
Well, because they've got a whole season of it live at Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
They do different things, different concerts and plays and things that they broadcast throughout the year.
And this was just a beautiful, beautiful treat to see. 2 of 3 one-act musicals. The first one was called The Trousers, which I have never seen or ever heard anyone really talk about. The second one was March of the Falsettos, which was made in the early 80s about a man who leaves his wife for another man, his wife and child for another man, but wants to hold on to his family and his lover. He wants to have it all because he does love his wife, but as a friend, the son wants to be in therapy because he thinks he's fucked up, and is he going to end up being gay? He's growing up, doesn't understand what's going on in his life. The wife is lonely. She feels like, well, I still have my husband, but I don't have a lover. So the psychiatrist gets involved with the family. And then 10 or 11 years later, the author and the music writer wrote a sequel called Falsetto
Composer.
Land.
They call them composers.
Composers. Wrote Falsetto Land, and then they put those 2 plays together and made Falsettos.
Okay.
So, and it really was told, the same actor played the role 10 years later. Beautiful, beautiful music. And it feels kind of Sondheim-y, and that's because the book writer is James Lapine. I've never known how to say his name.
Sure.
But he is constant.
Weinstein.
Probably
right.
Lupin.
No.
Yeah, constant collaborator with Stephen Sondheim, which is why it sounds
Kind of
so,
like Bernie Taupin and
Elton John.
Elton John.
Yeah,
sure.
so you end up out
Or Topin.
Topin, exactly. We don't know. You end up out Sondheiming Sondheim at some points, and it was just delicious. And Lincoln Center, the music was beautiful, beautifully sung, great cast, just beautiful. So if you get a chance, it's on pbs.org. Funny, smarmy, just it's everything you
Okay.
want, but great
Okay.
music. The Big Sick.
It does feel a little dated, though. I don't mean to interrupt you, but it
Yeah.
definitely does feel a little dated because you don't feel, I don't think, as shocked as you're supposed to about the family situation and about he's leaving his wife.
Oh yeah.
For his lover, you know what I mean? Like you just that outrage isn't in us anymore. I
Oh,
feel
definitely
like, you know
not.
what I mean?
And one of the big things is when it was just March of the Falsettos was that he could have his cake and eat it all too, because it was written in 1981.
Right.
So nothing bad had happened.
Sure.
So why couldn't he maintain a relationship with his wife and son and his gay lover and his therapist be involved in the mix, and ta-da, happy family instantly made? Well, then an intervening decade proved that, like, some things are going to change over the course of this as you coming out as a promiscuous gay man in 1981. Things going to happen. So when they went back to it later, there was other things to factor in the story. So, and they're both period. They do it as 2 years apart, not 10 years apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so there's ramifications that come up, but it took a decade to write to put it back. So it was kind of...
Were you talking about falsettos last week?
Yes, because I was and then I forgot to tape it.
Only because I listened to part and I'm like, why do I know about this falsettos thing? And it was just been sitting like in my head this whole time, like, why is that familiar?
Oh, and I
Oh,
was
that's
so
why.
disappointed that I
Okay.
forgot to tape it, but then it turns out that PBS.org has it. But Clayton's mom actually texted me in the middle of it to say how much she was enjoying it.
Oh,
I'm like,
so good.
God
Yay.
damn it, I
Yeah.
forgot to tape it.
Okay.
So it's so good. So the Big Sick, charming movie from the summer that I didn't get to watch. No, I'm not gonna remember his name either.
Now, did you find it in theater still, or did you watch it on demand?
It came out on DVD.
Oh, okay.
But it was a hit all summer. It was
I enjoyed it.
yeah. It was
So many lines that were just dry in the movie that I enjoyed the heck out of.
yeah, and he's a funny guy. Kumal
I can't say
Sure.
anything.
Yeah, I know. who you're talking about.
Nanjiani,
Oh, yeah.
Pakistani actor. He's from
He's-
Silicon
he's
Valley.
in Silicon Valley.
Silicon
right.
Valley, and I've never really enjoyed
Was he in Pitch
that
Perfect
show.
or no?
No.
No idea.
I don't think so.
I thought the same actor was in Silicon Valley. That's why, forgive me, that's why I'm asking.
And Zoe Kazan, Holly Hunter, Ray Romano, Anupam Kher, who I don't remember who that was, and the girl from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend that lives next door to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend plays
love
one
her.
of his appointments. She's the catch. She's the Pakistani catch. So funny, so dry, and the incredibly true story of how he met his wife and their story of how they met and the ordeals they went through. He's playing himself, and at the end they have pictures of the real family and the real people. Holly Hunter as her mother.
I love Holly Hunter.
Just charming.
Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of her character in that.
And there's just nothing. The only thing you can do with her accent is put her in the piano and make her a mute.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She either has to be from the South or she has to be from New Zealand and a mute. Because she can't hide that accent, no matter how.
You
good
Oh,
she
yeah,
can't.
is.
no,
she's got
you're
that
right.
weird sideways lisp
Yeah,
thing happening
she-
too.
sure
there's,
does.
there's just
She's got a little bit of the.
Is
of
she
the
and
Leno lift.
is she and This Is Us? The
Holly
dad?
Hunter? Oh, Milo. What's his name? It's not Milo.
Right.
Yeah.
But the two
Vito,
of them should be
Milo.
like
Vermilion. I always
Yeah.
think he's a pasta, but he's not.
Yeah.
the two
Wow.
of them should be like
Wow, there's that.
son and mother, or
It is
or
Milo. It's Milo Ventimiglia.
Yeah.
Vermicelli or something.
Yeah.
Ventimiglia.
But-
Ventimiglia.
The funny thing about this
Yeah.
movie
Look
is
at you. Fuck
you know,
that.
they're going to make
Phonics.
such a big deal about her illness. And, you know, they have her in the hospital. The intubation looks pretty good. She does it all through one IV in her wrist, which is kind of amazing. She's in a medically induced coma. And then they bother, and if you're going to bother to, like, show a hospital room, hire one fucking person. Just one person. You can get a nursing student who can tell you, like, that's not a human. That person may not be alive.
Based on stats.
Stats. Stats are what
Vital stats.
your saturations, not stats. Everybody makes that mistake, but it's
Vital
stats.
signs.
Like how
Get
much,
over here,
how much
stat.
oxygen's in your blood?
Is your saturations.
Well, no, that I get, but I just want to make sure people understand we're talking about your vital statistics. Your
Yeah.
yes.
Vital signs.
What you're seeing on the meter should have been a dead person.
But her sats were what were wrong. That's what literally was her saturations
Been a
were wrong.
big-
They were 22, where like a living person needs to be in the 90s to prove that they're
Right.
breathing. Someone at 22, you're going to be calling a lot of codes. And the other thing is, if you're going to pay the money to have an IV pump, anything that's alarming red lights when you walk into a room through an entire scene should probably get your attention. And the one scene, the thing is alarming red, which means it's not working. And then the second time, it's just yellow. The third scene, it's just off. Like,
They got tired of hearing that fucking
at least,
alarm.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's not a big deal, but if you were in a hospital room and something was flashing red, wouldn't anybody in their family be like, should that be flashing red? I would be. If something was flashing red,
Call Val.
yeah, call somebody. So it was just a weird little thing to have going on, especially when it's a movie about the illness and the quality
Right.
of the hospital. And then, like, there was the number 104 was up on the monitor, and I'm like, well, the other number is supposed to be her heart rate, which is really fast, and she'd be in trouble over that. But that number doesn't have any correlation, because if she's breathing 102 times a minute, wow, is she in trouble? Like,
Wow.
like the one number just made no sense, and then no blood pressure on it at all. No one was monitoring this girl's blood pressure.
Have a great week.
I wanted to
Have
be.
a great week.
I
We're down
wanted
a
to be-
rabbit hole here.
I wanted to be
honey. Thank
angry with
you.
him about it. However, I cannot because I'm the first person to sit there and when they drive a car off a cliff, I'm like, that's not the car they were driving.
Right.
Right.
They were driving a 78 blah 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 and a a 1960 whatever. I'm the same fucking way.
Yeah.
I completely never would have noticed that about the movie because I was focused on the story, not the satch.
But, sats. But
Sure.
the thing about it is, it's a movie about the disease
Yes.
in a hospital.
was
You
wrapped
should
up
get the
in the-
hospital part right.
I was wrapped up in the story.
Yeah, I was, and it's charming and funny, like very delightful. The other one I watched.
So what'd you think about 9/11? What do you mean? I've never talked to you. You've never talked to me about 9/11. What do you think? Well, we lost 19 of our best guys. And he's like, what? That was. I love that.
He always goes to uncomfortable humor as a defense mechanism, but it's uncomfortable for everybody. And it's one of those ones that you can't possibly have thought that was funny, which is why he fits in so well on Silicon Valley, because does anybody think this is funny?
Right.
Like, that's my whole interpretation of that show is
Oh,
like,
God.
you get one
Good
laugh
night,
out of
Harry.
8 episodes.
Sure.
Good night. The other one is a dirty little movie on Netflix called Weekend that's been in my queue to watch.
little movie.
British lads that meet on a Friday night at a bar and have a very charming little weekend romance where it was perfectly charming, a little tiny bit explicit.
Okay.
Nice use of nudity, but nothing graphic. Well, there was one scene that was a little graphic, but really nicely done. So if you want a movie about two young people in their 20s, just kind of decide how to approach getting to know someone, and like, is this Yeah, exactly? Is this a trick or is this going to
Very
be a
nice.
Thank you, you're welcome.
relationship? So it's called Weekend, and it's
stupid.
A little bit British.
very British.
Okay.
Very
You're
British.
talking about me.
You too. But so if you get a chance, it's on Netflix, and I found it completely charming, on the free side of Netflix. And then we'll get to my
There's
last
a pay
thing.
side of Netflix. Oh, you still do DVDs.
Yeah, I do both.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait,
That's
there's
right.
a pay
Yeah, I
side
know,
of
I
Netflix.
was trying to track that, and I
I'm
couldn't.
paying my $12. What
Yeah,
more do these
yeah.
people want from me for
And
unlimited
a couple
television?
extra- because there's so much not on Netflix that
Sure.
you have to have the DVDs, or you would never see any movies.
I
You'd be
can't-
watching every B horror
I
movie.
can't
every
watch all
fucking
the
made.
bullshit that they've got on
Oh, I
there.
know.
Why would I get DVDs?
Well, they sucked me in. I only watch like one DVD a month because every time I turn around, they've got some fantastic new series on that I have to watch on one goddamn day off.
For real.
So, the new thing that I'm addicted to, and I'm pretty sure it came from an aunt, but it might have been Amina, is the Heaven's Gate podcast that one of them mentioned in the chat room last week.
Yeah.
About the Heaven's Gate cult.
That's about a cult. I knew it.
Yes.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's-
Isn't that the Hailbot people with the Nikes or some shit?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Wear your
Very-
Nikes in your tracksuit or something.
Yep, they killed themselves
Wild,
in like
weird fuckers.
What's the
Ran-
podcast called again?
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
Oh my God!
And they're
So-
doing a thing on CNN as well.
Oh,
You're
okay.
Chris Cuomo, I believe.
Oh
Could be
really?
in a
Oh,
tight
I gotta
shirt.
look that up.
Yeah, I'll
Oh
look.
yeah, hopefully fingers crossed, no shirt at all.
Oh well,
Oh, look.
tracksuit maybe.
Absolutely terrific. Hosted by a guy, and I don't know what it is about podcasters, and I hope we don't do it too, that they have to talk in that weird fucking voice, or people that are drawn to podcasts just have weird voices. Because
Do you mean the idea that we're going to listen to this story?
Honestly, I don't think we talk like that.
I don't either.
No.
like the one lady that
Do
does
you?
.com. And she says .com. And like, you don't have an accent. Why do you have an accent on .com? Why can't you say com? Like, what the fuck is wrong
That's
with
my
you?
biggest complaint about
that
the
wasn't
presidential and now constitutional podcast is she's got just a weird little
Yeah.
verbal thing where she can't say the T's in words that have a T in the middle, like mountain and
Mountain.
It's
yeah.
a-
Yeah, she does
no, it's
that.
not even mountain.
Well, wait a minute.
It's mountain. She puts a
Mountain, yeah.
fucking D in there. It's
There
not
was
a
an
mountain.
entire South Park episode about the planetarium because they couldn't, and the guy who owned it couldn't say a T. It was the planetarium.
Yeah.
The whole fucking episode is about
No,
that.
it's just puts a
every
D.
one
It's
of them-
mountain and button and
Oh, it's all
Right,
she's the
right.
deer.
Yeah.
the deer. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
deer.
the deer. Yeah.
Important.
So this guy,
Important.
he's trying to cover up something, but I'm not sure what. But
Probably
that's
a
not the point of
body.
it.
Is it a lisp?
Is it a body?
No, it's like, is it an
Is
accent?
it a transatlantic accent?
I'm reminded of Difficult People, where she does.
We're so thankful.
She
Anna.
imitates
We love
Australian
you.
people trying to do American accents, and they
Very
think
much.
she's special needs
she gets the part.
because she
They tell her how great she is.
They have a party for her because they think it's so great that a special needs person auditioned, so they write a role for
They
her.
totally write the whole part around her
But
being
it's because
retarded.
she found out she can bring her dogs to work if they're service dogs, so she puts service animal costumes on her dogs, and then she goes to an audition pretending to do an Australian person pretending to do American, and it comes out like she has a disability. And they think she's special needs. Well, that's what this guy is. It sounds like he's trying to cover up a southern accent, and it just comes off weird. But it's fascinating about like from the very start. But we're only
that's
so the third episode or maybe the fourth episode is out sometime after midnight tonight. I don't know what time it comes out because I just assumed they had dropped them all at once. So last week, as I'm frying up my eggs in a pan, and they're like,
Was
"Come
it an
back."
omelet?
Yes,
Was it a musical?
It was a musical. Oh,
Do you bring home the bacon?
I did. I fried
Oh.
up in a pan.
Because I'm a woman.
I never
Anjali.
forget. Well done.
Terrific. But it turns out, spoiler alert.
Oh.
Alert.
The podcast host was in some kind of a cult as a child. So next week or tomorrow and today,
Christ.
Tomorrow.
It might be
they're going to interview
today.
him about the cult he was in. So we're going to take a break from Heaven's Gate
Ah.
this week to learn about his cult experience and what his fascination is with the cult.
Got it.
And that he suffered from the same delusion as the cult people in this cult, that he thought he was one of the two people
is very
chosen
stressful.
for Revelation, from Revelation.
There's a lot
Fucked
happening.
That was-
upness. So it's completely, it's like the guy with no pants. He really wasn't Winnie the Poohing it. But what was the guy's name in Alabama or Florida that we all listened to?
Oh, fucking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
John B.
John B.
Southern
that was- In fact,
S-Town.
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 Yeah, so I was so involved in that when I drive past areas where certain things were said in the thing, that's what I think of.
Yeah, do you remember where
I
you
remember
were?
where I was
Oh,
when
I
I heard
miss
him.
him already.
When I heard about the fact that he was, whatever he made that cross. He made the necklace for the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I know exactly where I was. I was like, oh, for some reason that was a crazy
I was worried
thing.
that you were driving through his hilltop
Right?
community.
No, I
But-
was.
So in this one, it's like that thing where you're sucked into one story, but now you find out that your host
There's a whole other
was,
story there.
was in a cult and thought he was one of the people that was going to lead us from the Book of Revelations or some shit. Fucked up, but
Plot twist.
riveting. So you're only a couple episodes behind. You can catch up. It's really well done and very interesting to find out. And you hear from the daughter of the woman that started the cult. So you get her perspective on like what she was looking for. They have recordings of her. They have the woman that was in search of her son back in the 70s when he disappeared. And because there were, you hear about John Denver's love of the Est cult back in the 70s, and then he had a hit singing the praises of a religious.
What?
Oh, I know. Like you're not ready for this. It's so
No.
fucked up.
Yeah, that's
But
not
it's
weird.
and it goes by in a flash.
Rocky Mountain High is not about Rocky Mountains or being high.
Colorado.
It's about
Okay.
the guy sitting up in the mountain with the flute.
I am gonna
With a-
need
with a
somebody
flute.
to help me decide who gets the boot from my podcast habits
Oh.
in favor of Heaven's Gate now, though,
Uh-oh.
because I've got a problem. I can't keep up as it
I
is.
would get rid of Outcast first. What's that one called? Are you not listening?
Oh yeah, no. I listened to like 3 episodes of that and was like, nope, I'm out. I don't care.
I would get rid of Constitution then.
Yeah, well, because that one will sit for a while, and
Yeah.
I'm already way behind on that one.
Yeah. And the Constitution's gonna be burned next week and just be with us. But
And the Pod Save America guys are putting out like 7 shows a week
You
now.
can't
I
keep
can't,
up.
I
They're
can't
angry.
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it was election day, they had to do extra.
they had to do extra. So Heaven's Gate podcast. That's my final thing. Just catch it and check back in next week. Because we're all gonna find out about the cult the guy was in and figure out what accent he's trying to cover up.
Oh, that's true. We are only 3 episodes.
Like he like speaks Klingon or something. You know it's something.
Oh, and they're less than an hour. That's handy.
Oh, it is. They're
That's nice.
quick.
Yeah.
Like the one I couldn't believe it was over because I really just cooked breakfast and ate breakfast and it was done. And I'm like, wait a minute. This was supposed to get me through the
Was
morning.
that a slow cooker on
Yeah.
Like, how do you cook your
So
eggs?
thank you, Anant. It was Anant, and thank you very much because I was always curious. I knew nothing about Heaven's Gate, except for they were crazy and killed themselves. So to get the backstory and find out it started in the 70s and what they were looking for and like,
I wonder when people, start cults. Are they just starting like a club or something, or do they really have the end mindset as like, we're going to start?
well, no, these people they're the
Like
initial
Charles
motivation,
Manson-y kind of.
right? And we may be like painting with a broad brush or whatever that phrase is.
That's the phrase.
The musical
Muse.
that I really don't
painting
think
with
these
jazz
people were out to do anyone any harm at
Right.
first.
No, I think they innocuous.
Jim
they
Jones?
completely. Yeah.
But how you end up and where you start are not necessarily the
okay.
same thing. So
Right.
if you got in, if you were an early adopter, if you will, an initial investor,
Fine.
you maybe didn't sign up to kill yourself.
Yeah.
in
So,
Nikes.
I like Kool-Aid.
Right.
You
So,
know.
and that's why it's interesting to hear from the daughter and like what made her mother leave and go on this quest, and hear from the one man who, because there were so many people joining cults in the 70s, because everyone was searching for this new thing, including John Denver and all those. There's all those S jokes from all those 70s movies. EST was a thing that everybody was doing about spiritual awakening and all that stuff, and everybody was into S.
I will completely hear this now because I've never heard it before. So now when I'm watching Columbo
Yes.
or
Right,
whatever,
right.
it'll be there. And I'll be
Oh,
like,
and Columbo had episodes about people that were lost in S, so that there were so many people
Rockford Files.
going on into these things
Right.
that they were kidnapping. People were kidnapping their children and putting them through deprogramming. So deprogramming cult members became a thing. So like 5 or 6 years into Heaven's Gate, the people in the cult were saying, we'll tell you where we are and that we're safe, and we'll give you a list of names if you'll sign this piece of paper saying you won't kidnap any members for deprogramming. Like Walter Cronkite reported on them at one point because a small town disappeared. They all went with the cult. So like of a small town. So oh my God. There you go.
May I just?
Yeah, please.
Before this JJ had become my obsession, there was a thing on last night that I believe was on Rachel, but I'm not 100% sure, so you may have seen this. When that goddamn orange awful thing,
Yeah.
The president.
whatevs,
Yeah.
made a comment about, because I just read the opioid thing. It's one of the things that Chris Cuomo goes through. Did you see him talk to those kids? Have you seen
make them swear they wouldn't do drugs?
Promise me.
Oh,
you
I
won't
did
do
see
drugs.
that.
Promise that you want now, and I won't say anything about drinking. I mean, like, as long
You're
as
probably
Don't
you.
go
gonna
crazy,
drink.
right?
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's what's gonna keep people. That's all they
Did
needed.
you see that?
No,
He went up to a group of kids, and his new Nancy Reagan campaign.
okay.
Honestly,
well,
Nancy's campaign was much tighter.
much tighter.
Yeah. She had her shit together. You
He
didn't fuck
walks
with her.
up to
Well,
this
she
group
also
of
wore better
kids
dresses.
that have a t-shirts on that say Trump's wall, and they're standing there, and he's like, "All right, now,
Yeah, and like
Buckaroo.
14-year-old kids.
yeah,
Good hombre.
yeah, you good hombre, promise me." All right,
And
you
he made
swear
him like
now.
recite like a pledge that they would never do drugs and that they wouldn't. Well, don't go crazy with liquor. I know you're probably gonna drink. Like it was like.
But, so he backpedals.
So
in
you
the
can
middle of the-
inhale.
So right in the
Don't inhale.
right in the middle of the pledge to stay clean, I
Yeah.
don't mean this at all.
Because
But if you drink,
the
So
Jack
be a
Dan-
wall, but not a wall.
Because the
wall,
Jack
like,
Daniels people supported me, so I can't do too much
Yeah.
on the
more like
on the
posts
booze.
that are about 10 feet
I mean,
apart.
people are going to pay for it, maybe with Monopoly money, but it'll be a huge amount of money. It was the most ridiculous thing, and that was actually my obsession at one point, because I thought, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
And you're left with
even more stupid than he normally is.
how
It just was too much.
how could Saturday Night Live even approach that?
Like you can't. You have to.
Like the satire's already there.
You have to Sarah
When he-
Palin your
when-
way through it if you even want to address it.
If
You have
yeah.
to just verbatim it.
I honest to God could not
Yeah.
get past it, and I rewound it and watched it like 15
Yes.
times because the only thing more fun was watching Nicole Wallace just lose her fucking mind.
Okay, this week, this past
Oh my
week,
God, that's great. I didn't see
she's yelling at people. She's so angry.
Oh.
It's been hilarious.
Good.
Because I would be in the other room and she's got people on and she's like, she's almost to the point of "Don't fuck with me, fellas."
Yeah.
She's screaming at people on her table and she's like, "Fine, just go back and believe your little world." And she moves on. But stay right there. We're coming right back.
No.
But she is on fire.
The best this week is when she goes, "Okay, I know you feel like you have to say that, and I will send an email to Fox and Friends and get you booked as a guest. I know somebody, but that's just a lie." She's like,
Yes,
"So."
totally.
And then he says something again. She's like, "No, seriously, I know people in the White House. Like, I've had this job. That's not true." She's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
"If you want to go on Fox, just go on Fox. Just don't sell that here because
Right.
we know you're
Right.
lying."
Right.
And it was, I'm like, okay, she didn't even say like she didn't twist the word or
Nope.
manipulate it.
She's
and
just
say it
like,
was
"You're just full of
a
shit."
falsehood. She, no,
Yeah.
she just said lie, which
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
realize anybody
fantastic.
could say that word on TV anymore.
You sure can all the time now.
Oh, but when she told him she would send an email to Fox and Friends, Doug Wilkie.
I heard that. That was funny.
Doug Wilkie, he's like, "Please watch Nicole." I'm like, "Oh, I watched that today. I taped it today because she's like my new hero."
She is on fire with some shit. She really, really
fantastic.
is.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The View really screwed up by letting her go because who knew that was wrapped up inside of her?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you listen back,
Oh, I
I've
did
been
too.
a big fan for a long time.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. No, absolutely you have
Yeah.
with Nicole Wallace for sure.
My hero.
Anyway, but that's all. Now
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was
I wonder if she will endorse me for mine inspector.
maybe.
I think it got a shot
I think so too.
because she calls herself a recovering Republican now, which
I love it.
cracks me up.
There we go.
It's gonna be good.
That is fantastic.
And what did she tell Steve Schmidt? She's like, "I don't know how you can listen to that, but I guess you can reply to it." With the guest still sitting there. And then she told the one guy, "I don't know why you came on this show, but thanks for coming."
Because somebody said he had to.
She is.
But it was his, "I don't know why you came on here since you're just going to lie." It was so funny. So go ahead.
That's
What are your...
fantastic. I love
Are
it.
you ready for what are you doing, Kat?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see if we can get this bitch to fly. Let's try it like this.
Sitting right here.
I know, right? God.
Boom.
Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then two things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab two things you love.
It can be two things.
Only two things in the world I'm scared of.
Rise of frazzing two things.
Remember two things.
I believe in two things.
Guys are only after two things.
What's better, doing two things at once or just one?
Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
Kat Carlson.
Now, if there's one thing that I don't like when people half-ass, it's the holidays. Listen, we are at the brink of the war on Christmas.
Right, we are.
And I want to help our listeners with their shopping. With their holiday shopping.
That's kind of you.
Right.
Yeah,
now, a
it is.
company you don't really think of when you think Christmas.
If you're gonna say Kat Carlson, I swear to Jesus. I swear to Jesus, if this one pulls out Kat Carlson.
Well, she's already told us about her.
Well, if you go to catcarlson.com.
She missed that.
Oh my God.
She's going to Barbara Seville this story.
For real.
I just had to think to remember what my website was redirecting to. Right now it's my Lyft code, as it turns out. If you're not using Lyft, you can go to catcarlson.com and receive $20.
Oh.
$20 credit. It's $5 a piece towards your first 4 rides. catcarlson.com. But that's not what this story is about.
Right.
Thanks for the plug, though, Mark.
Of course.
You redirected her. It's your fault.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have gone there to anyway.
It wasn't
so,
going there at all.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
The memorial Christmas list.
Right.
The Cat Carlson memorial Christmas list.
So
The list is silent.
Yeah.
now, a company you don't really think of when you think of Christmas is Hidden Valley.
Oh, the ranch dressing.
The ranch people, yeah. Now they seem
I
to
can
be,
never find it. Apparently, it is hidden.
Yeah.
It is hidden. That valley, I don't know where it is. Now they seem to be operating under a sort of if you build it, they will come kind of a mentality. For example, no one needed the $100 ranch fountain that they debuted earlier this year.
Or debuted.
Weinstein. I like it.
No one needed the ranch fountain, but condiment diehards bought out the entire stock.
Oh.
That's right. Same goes for
Safe
the Bejeweled
dressing.
bottle
Yeah.
and beach towel that launched alongside it. You could buy a Bejeweled Hidden Valley Ranch bottle.
I bet you didn't know that.
I'll bet you didn't.
I'm not a fan of ranch dressing in any way, shape, or form, but
Sure.
I think
How can you not be?
fountain-wise, I think I'd dip some shit in a ranch fountain if presented with it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Nice.
Now, perhaps you knew about those items and perhaps you've purchased them. And you've been resting on your laurels for months now, content with telling your grandchildren about the time when someone invented a machine that could make ranch flow freely and readily for some carrots or your bare hands to dip into at any moment.
Your bare hands.
But then, bam, Hidden Valley Ranch Outlet drops a holiday collection.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop it now.
That's right. This is the stuff of dreams
That deserves
and really fun
a bell.
parties.
And a couple of fat people.
Oh.
First up,
excited.
I am right here.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
First up, the Hidden Valley Ranch keg. That's right.
Stop
for $65, you get this silver beauty with a year's supply of Hidden Valley Ranch.
God, if we could
It's
only have that
perfect.
at the restaurant, that would have been great. Here, lesbians.
Perfect for hypochondriacs who want ranch on tap.
Oh, God.
Like the fountain, but contained to prevent double
Of course.
dipping.
Of course.
Sure.
Good.
Oh,
Sure.
sure.
Yes.
Germaphobes.
Yes.
would
Germaphobes,
appreciate.
yeah.
Good. Thank God.
Item number 2,
Yes.
the Hidden Valley Ranch Christmas sweater. That's right. Looks like something your grandmother embroidered. Itchy and outdated, but feels like something you buy at a college bookstore. Soft and ironically relevant.
Now, I'm worried that it was going to be like my ranch dressing sweater
Right,
was very
yeah.
much like a pearl necklace in metaphor land.
No.
I can't believe
Or making
that
whiteout.
you submitted this story and you said I didn't have to have a picture for it because that's fabulous. Bedazzled ranch bottles and a fountain in the middle. And if you look closely,
For lesbians everywhere.
No, if you look closely in the center of the fountain, you can ranch out.
Oh, boy.
Fuck yeah, you
Well,
can.
I
Wow,
think as
that's
our new
fantastic.
personal podcast expert for
Yes.
Q Talk America,
Anan.
we should show Annette when he's won, and I think it should be a ranch dressing.
Now, but wait, there's more.
Oh.
For example, in
exciting.
theory, you, a ranch lover, want to bathe in a pool of ranch surrounded
Please
by
don't
all
point-
your favorite
point me.
dippers, pizza,
No.
vegetables,
Oh,
fries. In reality, wrapping yourself in this ranch-themed blanket printed with all of those things might be a lot more enjoyable. That's right. Hidden Valley Ranch in their store has a lovely blanket that's adorned with little icons of celery and carrots and chicken wings and pizza.
I gotta tell you, I have enough trouble getting, it doesn't look like it, but getting the food to my mouth. I am constantly spilling. I don't need a fucking reminder blanket.
I'm just thinking the blanket's gonna look like a hand towel that got like wiped off.
Stains on
right?
it.
Yeah.
Perhaps if
Right.
you have trouble with the spillage,
Yeah.
this might be the item for you.
No, because then it's
Wait
gonna
for it.
grow things.
Wait for it. No, wait for it. There's a new item coming. I was segueing into the next
oh,
item.
My bad. My bad.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Radio is hard.
Yeah. Making me sweat.
Now, if you were #blessed enough to score a ranch fountain, or if you have trouble with the ranch making it all the way to your mouth without jumping ship and landing on your t-shirt, perhaps the ranch fountain skirt is the thing that you need. That's right, much like a Christmas tree skirt, but
God.
adorned with ranch-themed prints.
No.
Intended to surround
Oh yeah,
your
because
ranch
that would.
fountain.
Oh, that would look good.
That's
There you
right.
go.
And it
All
does
I
look
can
good.
think of is Bernice from Designing Women wearing the Christmas tree skirt.
There's the skirt.
Oh,
Isn't that lovely?
Well, that just got
Isn't
fancy
she
fast.
It did.
lovely?
Wow.
Now, If you want,
Isn't she wonderful?
Stop singing.
Oh, but there's the front. There's the front of the website right there.
Oh my
If
gosh,
you
and
can
there it
read
is.
this,
The
bring me ranch.
final item.
Oh.
Comfy socks.
Yeah.
That's
Look at the
right.
socks.
One soul reads, if you can read this, while the other says, bring me ranch. Ranch lovers don't have time to wait around.
No, they don't. You have the one person wearing the ones. If you can read this, bring me my wine, and
Yes.
then someone else with the ranch.
I would
totally.
if somebody has pizza, bring me pizza, bring me ranch.
Yes.
Give me liberty or give me.
Now, I hate
ranch.
to criticize something I've never actually tried.
Yes.
I think
Why stop now? Because you. What?
And Nan's thanking all of his followers.
And the NSA.
of course, the NSA. Thank you for listening. I have never put pizza into ranch dressing because I don't really like ranch dressing. But I'm thinking the other problem is going to be that I'm going to really enjoy that combo, that's finally what's going to make ranch dressing appealing.
And we'll never see you again.
Yeah.
Look for the skirt.
And then it just caftans
stay
and cream
away.
sauce to the finale.
I like it.
I'm all about dipping the crust in there because, you
Oh, yeah.
want to eat your pizza crust, but it gets a
Oh,
little
no.
dry. The ranch dressing really helps lube up
Yeah,
the gears.
that's the only way that I can eat pizza crust.
I want to talk about lube.
I don't eat I don't eat the handles. I just don't.
And the crust is my favorite
understood.
part of
I
pizza.
love crust. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how it got to this weight.
You love bread.
Hello.
Yeah, I love
Actually, I do not like bread. Personally, it's not. I'm not a big, huge fan. Well, I'm very huge, but not a bread. But I love the crust.
Yeah.
And I actually love cats.
I know, that's why
Do you know every time I make like a new person a loaf of bread, I print out the Oprah like I love bread thing and I stick it like right
That's
on
fun.
the
I
on the
love
bread
it.
loaf. Yeah,
That's why
it's
Tim
very
and I
fun.
were so compatible, was because he likes the inside. In New York, the pizzas are square.
Yeah.
So he likes the
Oh, a Sicilian, if you will.
inside of the pizza, and I like the crust. So we never.
And
And I would just think, what a fucking waste when I see crust in a pizza box. I just want to beat somebody with a shoe.
You have to eat your crust.
You'll never see them in my pizza box because they go down to the
somebody with
disposal,
a shoe.
or I throw them in the backyard and let the birds eat it.
Oh yeah, you should put that down.
I've done your holiday shopping for you.
You
Thank
have.
you.
You have.
Thank you.
Because Whisker is a listener of the show and
Actual
longtime
person.
friend. Whisker's-
Oh, okay. I thought we were making fun of his beard. I'm like, well, that's awkward.
No, I think he'll be sad to find out that he had a wedding without a ranch dressing fountain because
Oh,
I
bet.
had never met anybody that could put that many things into ranch dressing, and not one of them was a vegetable.
Well, hopefully they bring the fountain back in a future.
I know, the
holiday
Oh,
season.
it'll be on eBay. We can get one.
Right.
And I think we could actually still use it as the chocolate fondue fountain too.
No, very nice.
I don't feel like there's
I don't-
any limit.
I think it would be.
But I'm thinking
You have to
difficult
heat the
clean.
chocolate though.
Yeah.
Now, the
I'm
thing
thinking-
with chocolate is heat.
And the thing with ranch dressing is warm ranch dressing,
Is not delicious and
No.
it has salmonella all up in it.
and it's the big sick.
Yeah, there's some botulism happening over there. All right, well that was lovely. Now I want to bring you to the second thing. I've prepared two things today. The
Okay.
second thing is a brand new segment that we teased about last week.
Oh.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Al Perkins. Please read these emoji
Oh, God, I did hear that part.
by popular demand.
We don't have a
So,
theme.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna direct Al Perkins to the screen,
Okay.
and we're going to. Now I will give you a hint. These are all movie titles, so we've made it easy for
Oh,
you.
Very
it's like
nice.
the game Concentration.
Yes.
Sure.
So
I can see that.
these are going to be movie titles as depicted with emoji.
I think I'm gonna be good at
And
this.
it is going to be your job to guess them. Now,
Okay.
the prize is absolutely nothing. So if
Okay.
you win
Well,
or lose,
You get what
or
a Nat
ranch.
gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just gonna say, but if you give me a bottle of ranch, I'll get it right back.
the accolades are limited.
Fair.
Now, the other thing with the emojis is they'll be on the screen, so I'll be able to see them. Where
Right.
on my phone,
Yes.
I can't see them.
I can't help you with your phone and the visualization there. I believe there's a setting where you can expand
Yes,
those.
there is.
He
We'll
refuses
talk
to
about
do
it later.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
All
it later. So the first slide, please.
Okay.
Oh, I'm excited.
Thank you.
There it is. Now for
Finding
the
Nemo.
very good for the listeners.
Oh, look
Very
at
good.
you.
Now, for the listener only, we displayed a magnifying glass emoji and a fish emoji. And Al Perkins is correct. That is Finding Nemo. Slide.
No.
It's like dose.
Now we have a skull and crossbones.
Oh,
we
Pirates
have
of the
an
Caribbean?
anchor and an island. Correct. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
Slide.
look at you.
Well done.
Slide.
Well done.
3 here.
2 bundles of money.
$1 Million Baby.
Correct. And a baby emoji. $1 Million Baby.
Very nice.
Okay,
Look at how good
now-
you are at this.
I kind of get why you would send somebody money. Like
Sure.
I had something queued up, but now I can't remember how that song goes by Rihanna.
Bitch better have my money.
Bitch better have my money. In the
That's
baby.
what I say when people are
That's the
closing their
second
tab.
whitest thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
Right there.
For
Your
real.
DNA sample was
Yeah,
one.
it was exactly proof of my whiteness.
Fair point. Yeah.
But why would you send somebody? Well, I guess if you're going on a boating adventure, but like, what would be the appropriate time to send somebody an anchor? Like, what are you trying to
going to the
convey?
lake.
I'm not sure.
Like, these little pictograms are fantastic.
You have
Please,
to be creative.
I want to go for the bonus round, please.
Slide.
I like how she has her pen. Slide.
Oh,
Now this is
ooh,
this is a
tricky.
wave emoji and quite a few men.
I would say Breaking Bad, but that's not right. Because why would they all be bad?
The mustaches, clearly.
I think I figured it out, but I'm not gonna ruin it for you. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, Ocean's 11.
Correct.
That's what I was gonna say.
Very nice.
Ocean's
Okay.
11.
I was like, I
Very
feel like the
nice.
number of the gentleman. Because
Importante.
I like
I'll take Rosemary for the block.
Slide.
Trump sucks.
Now, for the listener, this is a prohibited sign, an American flag, and an elderly gentleman.
I got it.
Oh, I do too.
I should have thought of quiz show music.
Yeah. Damn it. No Country for Old Men.
Bing.
Correct.
Look at you.
Very good.
That's tricky.
Tough.
A good one.
Well, it was designed to get harder as we go.
Ah.
That's
A
what
lot of
she
things
said.
Slide.
I think you just like saying that.
Now, this is an American flag, a man, what appears to be a dog, and then a British flag.
Where I went with that doesn't make any sense.
American.
Join a band.
An American Werewolf in London.
Correct.
Oh!
Very good.
Good. That's good. He's so proud of himself.
That's very exciting. This is a fun game. I'm glad we
Yeah.
thought of it.
It's good.
Now you can play this with your nieces. You'll be fine.
All right. Here we go. There's just a few left. Slide. Now we have a mouse, a circus tent, and a bath.
And I went somewhere weird with this, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get out of it.
Ratatouille.
Oh. Excellent guess. Excellent guess.
I got nothing on this one.
Yeah, I'm a little stumped myself, but
When I see an elephant fly, that'd be Dumbo. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but the mouse was the
Oh.
best friend. They were in the circus, and there was a whole like shower with the bath and the elephant. It was
but
whole
it's a
thing.
little bit of a stretch.
very
It's a
good.
bit of a
I'm like-
stretch, but it's there. I saw it. I actually got this one right off. I was scrolling
wow.
through different ones, and I was like, oh, Dumbo. Because as it turns out, my childhood Disney favorites, you know what I mean, when kids are in that annoying age of having to watch the VHS
right.
tape a million
Yeah.
times, mine was Dumbo.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had no memory of that movie because I listened to Baby Mine, and I played it for a friend of mine to see if she wanted to like sing
Yeah.
it. And she started crying. I'm like, why are you crying? She's
Because
like,
it's so sad,
This
because
is-
that's when they take the mom away.
I know, and I didn't know that I was causing childhood trauma. I'm like, well, no wonder I only watched this
Okay,
movie
I'm
once.
not gonna lie. I've never seen Dumbo.
I have never either.
Oh, but the rest of it is delightful.
Clips of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, once you get
And
past
I
the
love
initial
elephants,
trauma.
but-
Right,
No
after
idea.
they
Apparently,
rip,
Robin Hood's stunning too.
And I at least recollection-wise, don't remember seeing Bambi.
I have never watched
Oh,
Bambi.
you'll remember that one.
I know.
It's
Or
trauma. That
where the
one's
red fern
trauma.
drives
Winds up on a
any of
wall
that
in a
shit.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, we should
I
have about
use
2 or 3
antlers in all
more.
of my
Slide.
decorating.
All right, now this one is a fist, what appears to be beer, and a happy face with heart eyes.
I feel like it's Fight Club, but
I'm hoping for a stump here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping for a stump. 20 seconds.
Oh, I got it. 3 words.
Cool Hand Luke. I don't know.
May I-
Full of dollars.
May I try without?
Final answer?
I'm gonna be horrified I didn't get this. What is it?
He's going to pass.
May I try?
Yes, please.
Punch Drunk Love.
Correct.
Oh,
very
good one. Good one. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Very nice.
Yeah,
very
no,
nice.
I wouldn't have had that at
Slide. This one is the same beer emoji and appears to be a heterosexual couple.
Yeah, maybe not.
Knocked
Blue
up.
Valentine, but for a different reason.
Knocked up.
Incorrect. Would you like a lifeline?
Yeah.
Would you like to phone a friend? I don't know where we're gonna go with the lifelines.
So, what does the beer emoji mean? The same thing as it did in the last one?
I don't know. Perhaps not.
Drunken Love.
Yeah. I'm like,
This one, this one's a challenge because this movie didn't have like wide acclaim. In fact, it's a terrible movie, but we should all know it because Anna Kendrick was in it, along with Olivia Wilde. It's a terrible movie called Drinking Buddies.
oh, I've never seen it.
Centered around
I've
a
never heard of
brewery
it.
where like coworkers are in love, but they're not really in love, and so then they're in like separate relationships, and awkwardness happens, and then they end up hooking up. It's a whole thing, and it's a bad movie.
I've never seen it, so I was never gonna get to
You were
Drinking
never
Buddies.
gonna get
I already know I've got the next one wrong in my head, but I just made myself laugh by what I thought it was.
All right, I believe this is the final one.
It
Slide.
is. Here we go.
There it is. Now this is a pointy finger, an okay hand, and then what appears to be a cityscape.
Sex in the City.
Correct.
Oh. Okay, I didn't go there. I went Fuck City.
Yeah,
Very
Very
different.
close, very close
Yeah.
because everyone knows
That's
that
funny.
the pointy hand pointing towards the OK symbol
Right.
is
Flap A, slot B.
Right.
We're going for
Right.
making money.
That's how we go.
funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Perkins has
Wow.
won the game.
Look at you.
I feel like I got a strong score considering I never heard of one of the movies.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, well
strong,
done.
strong
That's more like
score.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because I missed
Potato,
Dumbo.
potato.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Weinstein. That's fine.
We'll give it to you. A for effort, my
Yeah.
friend.
And now
Well
we've
done.
confused it so much that is it Weinstein?
Yes.
Okay.
It is Weinstein.
Okay.
Sounds creepier
Frankenstein?
that way. Sounds creepier
What
that
hump?
way.
Exactly.
Weinstein. All right, that's all I got. What's
I'll
next?
tell you. Well, I don't know how well this is gonna play out in Poughkeepsie, but
Poughkeepsie, are you there?
no, my favorite because we were talking about this earlier. I don't know what point. Oh, hang on, I got too many things going on. If I can make this work, I wanted to show you her anger. Michelle Wallace on MSNBC.
Nicole Wallace.
Or Nicole Wallace. I'm sorry.
My future ex-wife, Nicole Wallace.
See if I can make this play. I don't know exactly what segment. This is the guy she's ripping though. So let's see how this works.
By the time it got, would you agree that Jeff Sessions was pretty high level?
I'm saying that Jeff Sessions was high level.
And you said that George was pretty low level, right? So you don't know who it was bounced off of before it got to Jeff Sessions, do you?
No, what we're talking about was that meeting on the 31st,
Right, but
which
you
is where
just
it was
asserted
reported.
that the first time it was bounced up, it was rejected. You don't
No,
know.
I don't know that. What
Right.
I was saying is
So, I
that
mean,
if it was brought up on the
pitched it to
31st,
Jared. He
it
could
was
have pitched it to.
it was immediately shut down according to what the New York
Right, but you
Times
don't know if that was the first time it was suggested.
Neither do you. No
or the
one does.
10th. Well, we know that Papadopoulos, we know Bob Mueller knows. Yep.
Well, we don't know what Bob Mueller knows. We also know that so far there has been no evidence of any kind of collusion between the Trump campaign.
Why do you keep
and
saying that?
Russia.
How do you know?
Has there been any evidence? Well, we were supposed to be dealing in news here.
Bob
facts,
Mueller
not
is
speculation.
But why are you so eager to get ahead of Bob? Do you trust Bob Mueller?
I'm not going to make a judgment on Bob Mueller.
You don't
The
know
former
if you can trust
FBI
Bob. He's the
director
former
will make
FBI
his-
director after 9/11 who
will
prevented
make
a.
his-
Are
he
you
will make his determination.
Yes or no? Do you trust Bob Mueller?
I would trust the process to play out the way it's meant to be played out.
Why
right
can't
now,
you
we
say
have
that you
no-
trust a former FBI director who worked for Republicans and Democrats and kept this country safe after the worst terror attacks on our soil?
It's
You
not
can't
my-
say you trust Bob Mueller?
It's not my job to come here and say.
I
who
hope they're
trust
paying
and
you a
don't
lot of
trust.
money. Eli Stokels, what is sustainable? Hey, Mark, I will call some friends over at Fox and try to get you a booking, but we're not going to peddle. That's not true. And all we're asking you, listen, we appreciate that you come here and speak on behalf of Donald Trump, but why can't you say that we don't know if, I mean, we know there was attempted collusion. If it's not a crime, why are you so defensive about it?
Well, I'm not being defensive.
You
You're
are
accusing me of
madly
lying.
defensive. You're about to jump through the camera and punch
Well, when I get called being untrustworthy.
well,
I'm gonna
why
take that
can't
back.
you say that it's possible that collusion took place? It's probably going to end up that they tried and were incompetent colluders. But if it's not a crime, why are you guys? Why is it such a raw nerve for you guys?
Well, but here's the question. Here's the double standard. So you talk about these issues here, which you say amount to collusion, but the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee go out and pay for this and peddle it, and that's just opposition
you
research.
don't know that we haven't covered that story. Ken Delaney is with us, and we have covered your.
But it's considered opposition research
well,
and brushed up and brushed away.
I'll send an email over to friends at Fox, and you can peddle your propaganda there. Yes.
She's on fire.
That's fantastic.
Nicole Wallace, if you're listening, I love you.
We love you. That is fantastic. Oh God, when I heard her going after him. That's
wonderful.
Oh, that was wonderful. That really, really was.
Would you like to read the breaking news?
Oh yeah, so here we go. So
What?
let's look at tonight from the election point of
Oh,
view.
wait. We have to do something. Hang on.
right.
Oh God damn it. We have to do things in process. And where is it? It's right here.
Let's look at tonight. Democratic governors in New Jersey and Virginia. Medicaid expansion in Maine. That's with LaPierre. What's his name? What's that fucktard's name up in
Oh, yeah, the idiot.
It's not LaPierre. He's the NRA. Those terrorists. First openly transgender state legislator elected in Virginia. First openly transgender woman of color ever elected in the U.S. to the Minneapolis City Council.
That a girl.
First 2 Latinas elected to Virginia state government. Healthcare and diversity won tonight. The message of inclusion wins. So.
Isn't that great?
I'd like to
love it.
thank MSNBC for letting us use their election theme music too before they
How
give me a
wonderful,
copyright
though.
smackdown.
How wonderful.
Yeah,
And-
that's a good election day.
And now we
And
just need to find.
Virginia.
Yeah, we need to find
Wow.
out if Virginia if they won enough seats to turn the tide because we haven't.
Because they were doing the count when we were here earlier. It was
Yeah,
the 6
so
and
I
the
don't know
12. That
what
makes
we've been
18.
on, so.
They got to get 17 to make it happen, if I'm not mistaken. Is that how it's going to go?
Are you looking that or?
Are we?
Maybe, but we probably won't get there
I
before
think.
we're done.
Can we be done? Do we need to do
Yeah.
a thoughtful?
Yeah.
I don't think we. I don't necessarily
we
think
thoughtful.
we thoughtful
We've
now.
been very thoughtful for hours
I
now.
think we have.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I like it.
Running a little bit over tonight, but it's all right. Well, thank you all for being with us. Everybody in the chat room, Joe and Annette and Amina and Nero and Harrison and I don't know.
So far, they don't know
Joe
about
and
Virginia. They
Mom.
picked up 10 and they lead in 7 more races, so maybe because they need 17.
Awesome.
Wow.
So many things happening.
Very busy.
But it's a much better election night than the last one we had here a year ago.
A year ago.
God damn, a year's already passed.
Happy anniversary,
Holy
fuckers.
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Bunch
Back
of
to you,
morons.
fuckers. Oh my God.
There you go.
Anywho.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night,
night,
Gracie.
We're almost. Well, as we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
No more cheese before bed. Your dreams are crazy.